Chapter 208. The power of this attack was close to the peak of the Sea of Soul realm, far surpassing Lin Xian's strength. However, it still wasn't enough to deal with the Tsang family's great elder. Try to use your soul power to deal with him. Lord Alcohol transmitted. Lin Xian nodded. Purple light flashed in his eyes, and a strange inscription appeared in his right eye. His left eye turned into a sword-shaped inscription. Mental Cage. Soul Sword. Lin Xian used all the soul techniques he knew. At the same time, he took out his bronze gauntlet and attacked again. This series of actions happened in an instant. It could be said that all these attacks landed on the Tsang family's great elder. Normally, the Tsang family's great elder wouldn't care about these attacks, but now that he was injured, his strength was affected. Moreover, there was a strange soul attack, so he had to be careful. He coldly snorted, and a dazzling light quickly appeared on his body, enveloping him. Unlike the spirit armor formed by a Sea of Soul realm warrior, the light screen formed by a harmonious spirit expert far surpassed the former in terms of defensive range and degree. Bang! 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 The sword light and bronze light hit the dazzling light screen, causing ripples. However, the soul attack directly passed through. Humph! The great elder groaned, his mind somewhat absent-minded. However, as a harmonious spirit expert, his soul power wasn't ordinary. Lin Xian's attack only caused him to be absent-minded, but didn't cause any substantial damage. Powerful indeed. Lin Xian sighed inwardly. He had used almost all of his techniques, but he still couldn't injure the great elder. Whoosh! The great elder waved his hand, and a large lightning hand came crashing down. Swoosh! Lin Xian used his extreme speed and dodged. However, the purple robe on his body was shattered. Little bastard, it's you. The Tsang family's grand elder's face twisted when he saw Lin Xian. Old fogey, it's me, yours truly. Lin Xian laughed coldly. Little thief, you can't hurt me. The Tsang family's great elder gritted his teeth and said, Today I'll use you as a sacrifice to my Tsang family's disciples. Lightning surged from his hand, forming a lightning chain that rattled in the air. Whoosh! 3 lightning chains formed a triangular shape and flew out quickly, binding Lin Xian up. Ha 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 ha! The Tsang family's great elder laughed. Little thing, let me see what secrets you have. With a flick of his wrist, the lightning chain brought Lin Xian back. The Tsang family's grand elder was delighted. Lin Xian had many secrets on him, such as that golden lightning. Even his heart was moved. With the golden lightning, I will definitely be able to enter the mid-harmonious spirit realm. He grabbed Lin Xian with one hand. Humph! A mocking smile appeared on Lin Xian's face. Little thing, you dare to laugh at me. I'll let you have a taste of the harmonious spirit realm. Before he finished speaking, the Tsang family's grand elder's body suddenly trembled as he felt an inexplicable chill. Crack! 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 A trace of blue qi was emitted from Lin Xian's body, emitting a strange cold energy. In a flash, the Tsang family's grand elder's arm was covered in a thick layer of ice, and this cold qi quickly spread to every part of his body. Whoosh! Lin Xian's sword intent surged, forming an invisible sword qi that cut off the lightning chain. His body quickly retreated. The Tsang family's grand elder ignored Lin Xian, as he was in great trouble. This cold qi not only froze his body, but also froze the spirit energy and soul in his body. This little thief, how could he have such a thing? He was irritated, and he kept urging his spirit energy to resist. Seeing that the profound ice qi was not able to freeze the Tsang family's grand elder, Lin Xian frowned. He had underestimated the power of a harmonious spirit realm warrior. He waved his autumn scar sword, and the power of wind and thunder formed a sharp wind thunder spike, hitting the Tsang family's grand elder. Ding! Ding! The autumn scar sword emitted sparks, as if it had hit an iron wall. So hard! Lin Xian clenched his teeth. The Tsang family's grand elder was trying his best to resist the cold qi in his body and had no extra energy to care about Lin Xian. Lin Xian's previous attack could only leave a shallow mark on his body. Although it had no effect on his body, it still made him furious. An ant in the fourth layer of the spiritual sea realm dared to be disrespectful to him. What are you looking at? Lin Xian could not do anything to him, and he was extremely frustrated. F***CK still looking. Lin Xian raised his leg and kicked the Tsang family's grand elder's face. Instantly, a shoe print appeared on that old face. F***CK so thick-skinned. Lin Xian had long hated the Tsang family to the bone, and now he could finally get his revenge. Clang, clang, clang. He kept raising his leg, leaving shoe prints on the Tsang family's grand elder's face. Although it could not cause any harm to him, this feeling was too good. This scene was coincidentally seen by Zhao Shui, who had just arrived. Her small mouth formed an O, and her pair of beautiful eyes were wide open. Heavens, what is Lin Xian doing? He actually dared to kick a harmonious spirit realm expert, and it's a crazy kick. You're here! Lin Xian once again stepped on the Tsang family's grand elder's face, and he even used his strength to stomp on it a few times. The Tsang family's grand elder felt like his lungs were about to explode, and his old face turned purple. How many years had it been? Ever since he became a harmonious spirit realm expert. No one dared to be disrespectful to him, and now a piece of trash that he regarded as an ant dared to treat him like this. Little bastard, when I catch you, I'll break all the bones in your body and torture you to death bit by bit. Clang! Lin Xian kicked out again. You dare to threaten this young master? Not good. Retreat quickly. Lord Alcohol suddenly transmitted his voice. Lin Xian's body swayed, and he immediately pulled Zhao Shui back. Boom! Within a 10-meter radius, countless lightning bolts surged and danced wildly, shattering everything. When the lightning bolts disappeared, a terrifying crater appeared on the ground. Everything in the surroundings was scorched, emitting a burnt smell. The Tsang family's grand elder's attack was immediately invaded by the profound ice qi, and half of his body was frozen. Old man, you still dare to fight back at this point? Lin Xian was extremely angry. He was almost injured just now. Thinking about how the Tsang family had tried to assassinate him several times, he felt a burst of anger. You brought this upon yourself. I have no enmity with you, but your Tsang family tried to kill me several times. Humph. In this world, only the strong are respected. You don't deserve those treasures. The Tsang family's grand elders' lips moved slightly. Only the strong are respected? Lin Xian laughed. Slap. He raised his hand and fiercely slapped the Tsang family's grand elder. Go to hell with the strong. Lin Xian growled. Among those of the same generation, no one in your Tsang family can defeat me. You're an old man who has lived for hundreds of years, but you still fell into my hands. In an instant, he slapped the Tsang family's grand elder's face more than 100 times. One day, I will personally go to your Tsang family and uproot you. Lin Xian didn't attack again. Instead, he looked at the storage ring. Unfortunately, the Tsang family's grand elder clenched his fists. He couldn't take it out. If I can't have it, I won't let you have it either. Lin Xian's heart was filled with ruthlessness. He placed the bronze gauntlet on the storage ring and quickly retreated. Boom! With a deafening explosion, the bronze gauntlet exploded. A green energy storm spread in all directions, and everything within a 100-meter radius was reduced to dust. Chapter 209. As the green light dissipated, a 100-meter deep pit appeared on the ground. In the center of the pit The Tsang family's great elder sat with a gloomy expression. Half of his body was filled with blue mysterious ice chi, while the other half was filled with lightning spiritual energy. The two were resisting each other. On his right hand, the storage ring on his index finger cracked. This was a middle-grade storage ring with a space of 100 square meters. It was more expensive than a spirit rank martial art, but now it was broken. The Tsang family's great elder's eyes burned with anger. He wanted to tear Lin Xian into countless pieces. 2 hours later, the mysterious ice chi on his body disappeared. "Ah, little bastard, get out here." His voice was like a sea of thunder. It rolled out and could be heard clearly within 100 miles. But he could not sense Lin Xian's existence. Whoosh! The Tsang family's great elder turned into a stream of light and flew through the mountains. Any mountain that he found suspicious was smashed to pieces with a palm. In an instant, more than 10 mountains were flattened. However, Lin Xian did not appear. The Tsang family's great elder vented his anger in the sky. The terrifying energy did not dissipate for a long time. Lin Xian and Zhao Shui had already escaped from the forest. The two of them rushed towards the Fire Province. A day later, the two of them arrived at the border of the Fire Province. Entering the Fire Province, the two of them heaved a sigh of relief. They could feel the Tsang family's great elder's angry roar and terrifying venting. If they were caught, one could imagine what would happen. In the Fire Province, the air was hot and dry. It was as if there was a huge furnace barbecuing. In fact, it was almost the same. There were many volcanoes in the Fire Province, and there were fire veins underground. This made the climate very hot. Lin Xian was wearing a blue robe. He had the mysterious ice chi in his body, so it was not very hot. Zhao Shui changed into a cool, short-sleeve shirt. Her jade-like arms were exposed, causing people to daydream. Lin Xian came to an uninhabited volcano and prepared to go into seclusion. He wanted to refine the thunder crystal and use it to cultivate the copper thunder mark. After digging a human-shaped cave, Lin Xian went in. He released the little white monkey and let it and Zhao Shui stand guard outside. After setting up a defense in the cave, Lin Xian flipped his palm and a table-sized thunder python skin appeared in his hand. It was about a foot thick, like pieces of sapphires pieced together. When Lin Xian touched it with his finger, he could feel the thick power of thunder and lightning. Grabbing the thunder python skin with both hands, Lin Xian began to cultivate the copper thunder pattern. This time he wanted to cultivate his left hand. Strands of pure lightning energy surged out from the thunder python skin. Its aura was extremely terrifying. This energy was much stronger than the thunder grass. Ka-ka-ka! Terrifying cracks appeared on the surrounding mountain walls from the overflowing lightning, as if they had been hacked by swords and sabers. The blue lightning covered Lin Xian's left hand, and a violent energy instantly rushed into his body. It was like a mad dragon that was rampaging through his body. Suppress! Lin Xian's eyes narrowed. Golden electric arcs came out of his body and formed a lightning chain, trapping the violent lightning energy. At the same time, he used the secret technique of the thunder pattern, using the power of thunder and lightning to continuously temper his body. As time passed, the power of thunder and lightning weakened. The thunder python skin gradually dimmed, and cracks appeared in some places. However, Lin Xian's left arm was getting stronger and stronger. It was as if a shocking power was awakening. Feeling the power in his left arm, Lin Xian nodded slightly. He split out some lightning and tempered his right arm again. Ka! A 1-meter-long crack appeared on the table-sized thunder python skin, causing it to break into 2 halves. Lin Xian knew that this was because the power of thunder and lightning had been exhausted. He exerted a little force with both hands, and the thunder python skin in his hand turned into powder. With a thought, the power of thunder and lightning flowed quickly on his arm. It faintly emitted a blue light, as if thousands of thunder were roaring. Continue to cultivate. Lin Xian was overjoyed. He took out the thunder python skin that was more than 10 meters long. Next is my legs. Lin Xian followed the instructions. After 2 hours, his legs also emitted the light of thunder and lightning. At this moment, more than half of the thunder python skin was left. He continued to absorb the power of thunder and lightning. When the last piece of skin on his body was covered by the thunder pattern, a rumbling sound came from his body. An unusually comfortable feeling flowed through Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's face was full of enjoyment, and he almost groaned out loud. At this moment, the thunder python skin in his hand had completely shattered. Lin Xian's body flashed, and he appeared outside the cave. Wooji wooji. When the little white monkey saw Lin Xian, it jumped onto his shoulder. Lin Xian was slightly surprised. This little monkey actually ignored his power of thunder and lightning. However, Zhao Shui was not so lucky. She was oppressed by Lin Xian's aura and her face turned pale. Lin Xian looked up to the sky and roared and punched out. The mountain rocks shattered, and the 100-meter tall mountain was destroyed. Zhao Shui covered her mouth in shock. This kind of strength was probably very close to the 7th level of the spiritual sea realm, and Lin Xian's cultivation was only at the 4th level of the spiritual sea realm. Not bad. I didn't risk my life to get it in vain. Lin Xian laughed. Let's go. I need a fire tribute, spirit fruit. I wonder if the fire province has it. The two of them ran quickly and arrived at a nearby city. Flame City. The entire city wall was built with fiery red stones, and it emitted a shocking heat. Lin Xian and Zhao Shui found an inn and stayed there. They had been running around for the past few days, and their bodies and minds were tired. Lin Xian relaxed his mind and had a good sleep. The next day, he woke up naturally. He felt full of energy, and his body had recovered to its peak state. Opening the door, Lin Xian went downstairs and prepared to eat breakfast. He looked around and found Zhao Shui, but he frowned slightly. Zhao Shui sat quietly in the hall on the first floor. There were few young men around her, and their eyes were shining. Their expressions were rippling, and he didn't know what they were talking about. Lin Xian sighed and walked over. He had already sensed that Zhao Shui was different. Her ocular skill was more of a charm, and she had a strange attraction. Lin Xian's soul was strong, and he wasn't affected. However, the same couldn't be said for others, especially those martial artists with weak willpower they couldn't resist at all. Rubbing the little white monkey's head, Lin Xian walked slowly to Zhao Shui's side and then slowly sat down. You're awake. Zhao Shui smiled. This smile made the charm on her body even more intense, and the few young men nearby started to drool. So beautiful, so beautiful, the few young men murmured. Kid, who let you sit here? Get lost. One of the young men shouted coldly. That's right. This has nothing to do with you. Get lost. The rest of the young men echoed. Wooji wooji. The little white monkey made faces at them and stuck out its tongue. Damn it! Where did this stinky monkey come from? How dare you disrespect us? The few young men were angry, and one of them even grabbed the little white monkey. Chapter 210. The young man's face was pale, and his eyes were unfocused. It was obvious that he was addicted to wine and women. Even so, he was still in the 4th sky of the spiritual sea realm. This meant that he was not an ordinary person. His 5 fingers formed into claws, and flames danced on them. He grabbed at the little white monkey. Wooji wooji. The little white monkey looked at him with disdain. With a swoosh, it disappeared. When it reappeared, it was already on the young man's face. It waved its claws and scratched wildly. Chi-chi. In an instant, countless bloody scars appeared on the young man's face. It was a horrible sight. Ah! He retracted his hand and screamed. The little white monkey jumped back onto Lin Xian's shoulder. Wooji wooji. The little monkey pointed at them, as if warning them not to provoke it. So fast! The surrounding martial artists were alarmed. They looked at Lin Xian and the others in shock. How dare he provoke the Xing family? This young man is in for it. Someone shook his head and sighed. Ah, my face, my face! That young man covered his face and screamed, Give me a mirror. The servant beside him took out a silver mirror and said in a trembling voice, That young master, cut the F** king crap. Hurry up and give it to me. The young man screamed and snatched the mirror. In the mirror, his face was like a field that had been plowed. It was a horrible sight. Ah, how dare you ruin my face? I'll kill you. The young man screamed crazily, but he did not dare to attack. Behind him, his follower was also glaring angrily at him. The others looked at Lin Xian coldly. Young man, how dare you hurt the Xing family's young master Xing Tong? You must be tired of living. Zhao Shui said calmly. Young masters, I'm really sorry. Her voice was like a spring breeze, causing ripples in the hearts of the people. Hee, don't worry, beautiful lady. This has nothing to do with you. We can all testify. The other young men patted their chests and said. The young man looked at Zhao Shui and said, As long as you're willing to spend a night with me, I'll let this young man go. Otherwise, just wait for your deaths. Lin Xian smiled and said nothing. Although Zhao Shui looked weak, she was a decisive person. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to survive the Purple Demon Palace's pursuit for so long. Sure enough, after hearing this, Zhao Shui's smile widened. Her eyes were like water as she took a deep look at the young man who was caught. Xing Tong's scratched face suddenly glowed red like a ripe apple. Hot, so hot! He tore off his clothes and pounced on the body of the young man beside him. His hands roamed around and his mouth was full of kisses. F***ck, you pervert! That disciple sent Xing Tong flying with a slap and tidied up his clothes. The other youths also felt a chill run down their spines. They didn't expect Xing Tong to actually like this. Damn it, I was wondering why the way he looked at me the other day was weird. As if possessed, Xing Tong pounced on the servant behind him and kissed him repeatedly. The surrounding warriors were all stunned. Looking at the erotic scene on the ground, their expressions were very interesting. When the owner of the inn saw that the situation was not right, he hurriedly ran to recruit people. Not long after, a group of people rushed over angrily. The surrounding crowd dispersed and looked at the group of people with fear. The person in the lead was a burly man. He was almost 2 meters tall and seemed to be burning with fire as he walked. When he saw the situation on the ground, his eyes widened and he slapped Xing Tong unconscious. What happened? The burly man asked in a deep voice. He knew that although Xing Tong was addicted to wine and women, he was still able to differentiate between men and women. Someone must have done something secretly. The surrounding warriors lowered their heads and didn't dare to say anything. The few youths who were with Xing Tong told the burly man what had happened. A woman who knows charm and a young man with a monkey? The burly man frowned. He had never heard of these two people in the underworld. Where are they? The burly man asked in a deep voice. They are. The few of them turned around and found that Lin Xian and Zhao Shui were long gone. A bunch of trash. The burly man's eyes were cold. Search the entire city and capture them. How dare they touch the people of the Xing mansion? It seems like they don't know how to write the word death. Yes, the warrior behind the burly man said respectfully. On the wide street, Lin Xian and Zhao Shui walked quickly. Fire State, Shadow Country, and Rain Country are neighbors. The powers here are very complicated. We can go to the Inscription Union and get an Inscription Master rank. As long as we pass, normal powers won't dare to provoke us. Zhao Shui said slowly. Inscription Union. Lin Xian touched his chin. He had heard of this organization before. Everyone in the Union was an inscription master. Moreover, this organization didn't belong to Xia country. They were in other nearby countries. It could be said that they had a strong background and no one dared to provoke them. All right, Lin Xian nodded. But I want to wait for a few days. I feel that my soul power is about to break through. Zhao Xue's mouth twitched. Another breakthrough? Are you kidding me? Are you trying to hurt me? Lin Xian was about to break through. He had been using the mysterious ice qi to refine his soul. His improvement was very fast. He only needed an opportunity to break through to become a second seal inscription master. In the middle of Blazing City, there was a 1,000-meter tall volcano. This volcano had been modified by an inscription master. Not only would it not erupt, but it had also become a sacred place for cultivation. Lin Xian and Zhao Xue came here and decided to cultivate for a few days. At the foot of the volcano, there were many cultivation rooms. Lin Xian took a look. There were a total of 5 floors. The lower they went, the more expensive it was. Lin Xian and Zhao Xue chose 2 cultivation rooms on the 3rd floor. They paid the spiritual stones and received the keys. The cultivation rooms on the 3rd floor cost 1,000 low-grade spiritual stones a day. It could be said that the price was very expensive. However, Lin Xian had nearly 2 million low-grade spiritual stones on him. This amount of money was nothing to him. After paying the fees for 5 days, the two of them walked towards the cultivation rooms. The lower they went, the higher the temperature. The temperature on the 3rd floor reached a few hundred degrees. It was like a huge furnace. Lin Xian had the copper thunder mark and could still withstand it. Zhao Xue had already put up her spiritual armor. It's just right for me to cultivate. Lin Xian opened the door and walked in. The facilities inside were very simple. Lin Xian didn't care about it. After all, the warriors who came here were here to cultivate, not to enjoy. There was a brown stone in the middle. There were 8 bowl-sized holes around it. Lava was boiling inside. This cultivation room made use of the underground fire vein. Lord Alcohol transmitted his voice. Fire vein. Lin Xian was puzzled. Yes, the reason why there are so many volcanoes in the fire state is because there is a fire vein underground. Lord Alcohol said slowly. This is a mutated spirit vein. It contains more than 5 times the spiritual energy of ordinary places, especially the fire attribute, spiritual energy. It's almost materialized. Indeed, Lin Xian could see wisps of fiery red mist floating in the room with his naked eye. They were like tiny red lines. Whoosh! He came to the brown stone platform and sat cross-legged. This time, I must break through to become a second seal inscription master. Chapter 211. Just as Lin Xian entered the training room, the people of the Xing Mansion also found out about Lin Xian's whereabouts. The 2 of you stay here and watch. If there's any movement, report it immediately. Yes, the 2 warriors replied respectfully. In the training room, the air let out a low roar. The originally hot room actually became somewhat cool. Lin Xian sat cross-legged on the brown stone platform, surrounded by a layer of blue ice crystals. The 8 holes that were spewing lava were also covered by a layer of ice. This process lasted for 3 days. On the 4th day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. As if countless stars had been extinguished, the purple light in Lin Xian's eyes disappeared and became deeper. His eyes flashed, and inscriptions formed in the air, flickering. What was different from before was that this time 2 inscriptions were formed at once, and the lines on them were incomparably complex. As expected of a second seal inscriber, my soul power is more than twice as strong. Lin Xian showed a trace of joy. He had been using the mysterious ice qi to temper his soul for the past few days, and finally reached the level of a second seal inscriber. I can go to the inscription union to take the test. Lin Xian walked out of the door. After sending a message to Zhao Shui, Lin Xian waited at the side. Not long after, the stone door at the side slowly opened. Zhao Shui walked out with a smile. Not only had her soul power strengthened, but she had also broken through to the 6th level of the spiritual sea realm. However, when she saw Lin Xian, she was obviously stunned. You really broke through to become a second seal inscriber? Zhao Shui's voice was trembling. I was lucky I broke through, Lin Xian said with a smile. Zhao Shui rolled her eyes. This was not a matter of luck. Many inscribers cultivated their entire lives and did not necessarily become second-grade inscribers. Lin Xian's talent was too abnormal. Let's go, the test is too easy for you. Zhao Shui took a deep breath and said sourly. The two of them walked out of the 3rd basement floor together and headed outside. Seeing that Lin Xian had come out, the members of the Xing family were elated and wanted to send a message. Lin Xian had long since noticed their movements. With a flash of his body, he appeared in front of them. Please note that fighting is not allowed in the volcano cultivation ground. Lin Xian's actions attracted the attention of the martial artists in the cultivation area, and an old man warned him. He's actually a martial artist in the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Lin Xian was surprised. Lin Xian glanced at the Xing Mansion's cultivators before turning around to leave. Zhao Shui hurriedly followed him, and the two of them disappeared in a flash. Isn't that the person the Xing Mansion is looking for? A well-informed cultivator whispered. The old man in the cultivation ground stroked his beard and said coldly, No matter who it is, you can't make a move here. He looked at the two cultivators from Xing Mansion and suddenly frowned. Something's wrong. The old man's expression changed. He took a step forward and quickly arrived in front of the two. The eyes of the two cultivators from the Xing Mansion were glazed over, their faces contorted in pain. This is mental illusion technique. The old man's knowledge was not ordinary. He could tell at a glance that the two cultivators were under an illusion technique and had lost their minds. Wake up! The old man shouted in a low voice. A wave of pressure enveloped the two cultivators. Ah! The two cultivators trembled and then looked at the old man in front of them with a blank expression. What's going on? Why are we here? Oh no, that kid ran away. Hurry and report this. The two cultivators hurriedly ran away. Sigh. The old man shook his head and then walked in. The Inscription Union was an organization of inscriptionists. It was very famous in the entire Tiannan region and could be said to be a very large organization. The 9-story tower towered into the clouds and was completely red. It was built with the best firestones. The gate was very wide, 10 meters high and 20 meters long. There were lifelike drawings of real dragons and phoenixes. There were not many people coming and going, but those who came and went were either disciples of aristocratic families or martial artists of large sections. The Inscription Union was actually a place of business. Elixirs, weapons, arrays, everything was available inside. As long as you could afford it, there was nothing you could not buy. Moreover, there were inscriptionists inside. Some martial artists could request for items that were suitable for them. The effects were far better than those bought from other places. Lin Xian and Zhao Shui walked slowly along the stairs. At the entrance, they were blocked. May I know why the two of you are here? The guard at the door asked. He saw that Lin Xian and Zhao Shui were dressed in ordinary clothes and did not look like rich people, so he stopped them to ask. During this time, a few disciples of aristocratic families passed by and looked at Lin Xian with disdain. Humph, country bumpkin, you've come to the wrong place. Someone sneered. Lin Xian smiled indifferently. I heard that there is an inscriptionist assessment here. The two of us want to give it a try. Inscriptionist assessment. The guard at the door changed his expression. Even the disciples of aristocratic families next to him were surprised. They looked at Lin Xian with a different gaze, as if they were much more respectful. "I see. Sorry, please follow me." The guard cupped his fist and said, "Thank you." Lin Xian's attitude was gentle and his expression was calm. After the two of them followed the guard in, some of the martial artists nearby praised. "That kid is so young. He shouldn't be an adult yet, right? TSK is K. The girl beside him is not bad. My heart is itching to see her. You're courting death. If he becomes an inscriptionist, I'll see if you still dare to talk nonsense." "Hee, I'm just joking. But it's rare to see someone this young taking the inscriptionist assessment." The hall was even more spacious. The space on the first floor was more than 30 meters high. There were many stars painted on the roof, as if it was the sky. "Elder Su, these two are here to take the inscriptionist assessment," the guard said respectfully. "Oh." The old man, who was dozing off, opened his eyes. There was a flash of light in his eyes. He looked at Lin Xian and Zhao Shui and felt their soul power. He nodded and said, "There is an assessment today. Go and fill in your information." As soon as Elder Su finished speaking, someone brought in a pen and paper. Lin Xian looked at it and saw that it was some basic information. Most of it was name, age, and so on. The two of them quickly filled in the information and handed it to Elder Su. "Oh, 17 years old?" Elder Su looked at Lin Xian's information and suddenly raised his eyebrows. 17 years old taking the inscriptionist assessment was indeed quite young. But when he saw the information below, he sat up straight. "You want to take the second-level inscriptionist assessment?" Elder Su's voice was full of doubt. "Yes." Lin Xian nodded. He couldn't understand why the old man would have such a big reaction. "Little guy, are you playing with me?" Elder Su asked with uncertainty. "Elder, who do you think would dare to play with people here?" Lin Xian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "That's right." Elder Su nodded. "But you have never taken the inscriptionist assessment before. You have to start from the beginning." "No problem." Lin Xian gladly agreed. If he couldn't even pass the first-level inscriptionist assessment, then how could he be a second-level inscriptionist? "The two of you follow me." Elder Su stood up and led the two of them inside. Chapter 212. After bypassing the second floor, Elder Su brought Lin Xian and Zhao Shui to the third floor. After walking for more than 10 meters along the long passageway, a dark red door appeared. There were 2 bronze lion handles on top of it, making it look extraordinarily mighty. Elder Su placed his hand on one of the lion heads and exerted a little force. A circle of inscription that looked like water ripples quickly spread out, forming a triangular pattern. Buzz! The dark red door trembled slightly before opening slightly. Elder Su smiled and pushed the door open. Lin Xian praised in his heart. He didn't expect the mechanism to be so ingenious. If he rushed in without knowing the situation, he would probably be seriously injured. On top of the dark red door, there was a powerful inscription formation. The aura it emitted wasn't any weaker than Harmonious Spirit Realm Expert. Lin Xian had also noticed the soul force that Elder Su released just now. A second seal inscription master, and a peak one at that. He was very strong. At least, Lin Xian wasn't his match at all. Inside the dark red door was a classical hall. It lacked some extravagance, but it had a sense of history. There were many people standing in the hall. Most of them were young people. In front of the young people stood 3 people in silver robes. On their chests, there were a few golden ripples that looked like crescent moons. Among them, there was an elegant middle-aged man and a young woman on both sides. Both of them had 2 golden runes on their bodies. Standing in the middle was an old man with 3 golden runes on his chest. What a powerful soul force! Lin Xian's pupils shrank when he saw the old man in the middle. His soul force had already surpassed Elder Su's, reaching an unbelievable level. It's a third-grade inscription master. Lord Alcohol transmitted. Third grade. Lin Xian was surprised. As expected of the Inscription Alliance, he had seen so many inscription masters in such a short time. There was even a third-grade inscription master. That was an existence equivalent to a harmonious spirit realm expert. The people in the hall looked at Lin Xian and the others, their eyes filled with curiosity. Elder Su, why are you here? Who are the two behind you? The middle-aged woman asked curiously. Haha, these two are also here to participate in the Inscription Master Assessment. I saw that it was not yet time for the assessment, so I brought them here. After all, there are still a few days until the Battle of the Inscription Tower. We can't miss out on some young geniuses. Young genius? Hearing Elder Su's words, everyone looked at Lin Xian with a trace of unwillingness in their eyes. Even the three silver-robed men looked over. Among them, the scholarly middle-aged man was slightly taken aback when he saw Lin Xian. Then he smiled. Lin Xian, I didn't expect it to be you. Hello, Senior Wang. Lin Xian smiled. This middle-aged man was the elder of the 10,000 Treasure Tower. Moreover, he was the one who escorted Lin Xian and the others to the snow-seeking sect. No one expected him to be here. Lin Xian, you are Lin Xian. The middle-aged woman was astonished. Even the powerful old man was staring at him. The young disciples behind them were discussing. Many of them looked at Lin Xian with unkind expressions. He is the Lin Xian of the 10,000 Treasure Tower. I heard that he occupied a spot to participate in the Inscription Tower without taking the assessment. What, there is such a thing? I want to see what this kid is capable of. What can he do at such a young age? Lin Xian listened to these discussions and smiled bitterly. It turned out that his reputation had already spread among these people. The middle-aged man said to Lin Xian, This is Deacon Meng of the Inscription Alliance, and this is Elder Song of the Inscription Alliance. He is also the manager of this sub-alliance. Greetings, seniors. Lin Xian said respectfully. The two nodded with a smile. Elder Song said slowly, Since everyone is here, let's begin. Yes. Deacon Wang received the order and said loudly, There are a total of 16 people in this inscription master assessment. Those who draw the inscription according to the requirements will become a first-grade inscription master. Now, everyone find a place to stand. The assessment is about to begin. In front of them, 16 green jade platforms appeared. They were more than 1 meter high, and some materials were placed on them. Lin Xian and the others found a place to stand. He roughly looked at them and felt that there should be no difficulty. The others were seriously preparing. Lin Xian raised his head slightly and found that there were 4 young people who did not come to participate in the assessment. Instead, they stood to the side and looked coldly. Among them, there was a woman in a silver robe. Her expression was cold and her appearance was unparalleled. Her graceful figure was hidden in the silver robe. On her chest, there was a golden line drawn. First-grade inscription master. Lin Xian was surprised. He found that the others were also first-grade inscriptionists. It seems that these people should be participating in the second-grade inscription master assessment. Feeling Lin Xian's gaze, the beautiful woman did not have any change in expression. However, the few young people beside her showed a disdainful expression. The inscription master assessment begins now. You only need to draw the inscriptions according to the requirements. Deacon Wang said in a clear voice. On the green jade platform, there was a layer of light. Lin Xian saw a line of words appear on it. It turns out that I have to draw 9 basic inscriptions and 9 derivative inscriptions. However, I only have 20 breaths of time. Lin Xian quickly read the requirements. With a thought, he began to draw the inscriptions. For him, This was a very simple matter. These inscriptions were the most commonly used inscriptions. Lin Xian practiced every day, and the time limit was even less of a problem for him. He was now a second seal inscription master. His speed was many times faster than before. However, he did not show too much shock. Outside, Deacon Wang and the others saw that Lin Xian used 15 breaths of time to draw 18 inscriptions. They could not help but secretly nod. However, the few young people showed a disdainful look. Humph! That year, I only used 12 breaths of time. These people are really trash. Of course, they can't be compared to Brother Zhou. Another person laughed. However, that lady's strength is not bad. The young man, surnamed Zhou, looked at the figure, and his eyes lit up. They were naturally looking at Zhao Shui. In terms of appearance, Zhao Shui did not belong to the silver-robed lady. Moreover, she had an indescribable aura. Moreover, Zhao Shui's strength had reached the peak of a first seal inscription master. Her strength was comparable to that of the others. The silver-robed lady looked at Zhao Shui. Her eyes gradually brightened, and then she carefully sized her up. On the green jade platform, after Lin Xian drew 18 inscriptions, the words on the platform changed again. This time there were 3 choices. Lin Xian quickly chose to be an inscription master. The time to refine a first-grade elixir is the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. Lin Xian looked at the materials on the green jade platform and immediately had an idea. Only 1/3 of the materials on the platform were for inscription masters. From this 1/3, he had to choose the elixirs he needed. If the previous assessment was about basic skills, then this was about actual combat. Only by refining a first-grade elixir within the time limit could one become a first-grade inscription master. Outside, Elder Song and the 2 deacons looked at the platform. I wonder how many people will succeed this time, Deacon Meng said slowly. Chapter 213. It should be about half, Attendant Wang said in a low voice as he looked at Lin Xian. When he saw Lin Xian's skillful technique, a smile appeared on Attendant Wang's face. Lin Xian was relatively relaxed. Refining a first-grade elixir was a piece of cake for him. He could even use his soul power to observe the others. Among these people, about half of them were first-grade inscriptionists. However, they were far from Zhao Shui, let alone Lin Xian. After the time it took for a stick of incense to burn, the green jade platform glowed, and everyone stopped. Among them, 5 of them did not complete their elixirs and were eliminated. Among the remaining 11 people, 4 of their medicinal pills did not meet the mark. In the end, only 7 of them passed the assessment. This number was similar to what the attendants had guessed. No one was too surprised. The disciples who passed the assessment were excited, while those who failed stood aside dejectedly. Elder Song said slowly, inscriptions are vast and profound. Regardless of whether you pass the assessment or not, you cannot slack off. Remember this. Next is the second-grade inscriptionist assessment. Shanshan, prepare yourselves. Yes. The young men in silver robes replied. The 4 of them walked towards the green jade platform. Lin Xian also walked out. Kid, what are you doing? Go back. One of the young men shouted coldly. Everyone looked at Lin Xian, not knowing what he was going to do. The lady in silver robes looked at him and frowned. She said softly, Please don't disturb our assessment. Lin Xian touched his chin and said, Sorry, I'm also part of the assessment. You. The young men were stunned and then sneered. This is the second-grade inscriptionist assessment. Are you sure you can do it? The disciples who passed the assessment also sneered. He wants to take the second-grade inscriptionist assessment? Even I can't do it, let alone him. Zhao Shui smiled but did not say anything. She knew that Lin Xian had the ability. Elder Song and the others looked at Elder Su with a questioning gaze. Haha, that's right. This little guy signed up for the second-grade inscription master examination. Mr. Su said with a smile, because he has never taken the exam before, so we let him start from the first grade inscriptionist exam. What? Those young disciples looked as if they had eaten duck eggs and were choked speechless. The silver-robed woman glanced at Lin Xian in surprise. A trace of curiosity appeared in her eyes. The three young men behind her had gloomy expressions as they stared unkindly at Lin Xian. Not everyone can become a second-grade inscription master. First, you have to reach the second seal soul force state. The youth named Zhou Yong said in an ambiguous tone. Prove it. How old is this guy? He definitely can't do it. That's right. You're still trying to bluff your way out of this. What a joke. Lin Xian's expression remained the same. Since they wanted to prove it, then he would prove it to them. Two inscriptions appeared in the air at the same time. Ripples appeared in the air as strands of strange energy fluctuated. Those complicated lines dazzled many people. After a moment, the inscriptions in the air dissipated. Everyone woke up from their daze and looked at Lin Xian's figure as if they had seen a ghost. How is this possible? He's only 17 years old. The group of disciples felt that it was difficult to breathe. They couldn't believe this fact. The silver-robed woman's eyes became fierce and contained a fighting spirit. Her name was Huang Shanshan, and she was Elder Song's disciple. Since she was young, she had been recognized as an abnormal talent. The surrounding disciples simply couldn't compare with her. Even some disciples who were older than her couldn't compare with her. But now, a youth suddenly appeared. He was younger than her, but his strength wasn't weak. This caused her to feel a sense of resistance. Elder Song nodded with a smile and said in a deep voice, "Let's begin." Lin Xian and the others walked to the green jade stage and calmed down to prepare. Humph! So what if you have a second seal soul force? Zhou Yong's face was cold. To become a second-grade inscription master, it's not just about having a strong soul force. You too, show me your true abilities. Zhou Yong shouted in a low voice. He didn't want to be defeated by a youth. Looking at the 5 people preparing, Deacon Meng chuckled and said, Shan, this little girl has been waiting for this for a long time. Yes, she has been preparing for more than 2 months. There shouldn't be a problem this time. Elder Song laughed. But the others might not be so. After all, the second-grade inscription master examination isn't child's play. Deacon Wang, do you think that little guy Lin Xian will be able to pass? I don't know. Deacon Wang shook his head. The last time I saw him, he only had a first seal soul force. I didn't expect that after not seeing him for more than 2 months, he would have a breakthrough. Oh, Elder Song and the others were interested. It seems that this child's talent is amazing. I hope he can shine in the battle of the inscription tower. While they were talking, Lin Xian and the others had already begun to move. The disciples held their breaths and carefully watched the 5 people on the stage. They didn't want to miss a single detail. Lin Xian calmed himself down and carefully drew the inscription. He didn't dare to be careless. Compared to the previous examination, the difficulty of this examination was nearly 10 times higher. This was also the reason why there were so few second-grade inscriptionists. It was just too difficult. Lin Xian pushed his soul force to the limit, controlling the inscription. Huang Shanshan also had a dignified expression. Sweat seeped out of her delicate face. Zhou Yong and the other 2 were sweating profusely, their faces pale. The mysterious inscriptions in the air were like a bottomless pit, absorbing their soul force. Time slowly passed. 5 inscriptions appeared in the sky. One could vaguely make out a pattern, but it wasn't complete. Among them, Huang Shanshan had completed about 70%. Lin Xian had completed half. Zhou Yong had completed about 60%. And the remaining 2 had completed about 40%. Ka! Like a piece of jade shattering. A crisp sound rang out in the air. One person's inscription cracked and shattered with a bang. The youth closest to him was affected, and his inscription was instantly scattered. Lin Xian and the others were also affected. The inscription in the sky seemed as if it would scatter at any time. This change was unexpected. Originally, the inscription process needed to be absolutely safe and not be disturbed by the outside world. Otherwise, the possibility of failure was very high. Lin Xian's soul force intertwined, constantly stabilizing the inscription while continuing to draw. Huang Shanshan and Zhou Yong were protecting the inscription with all their might, not daring to be distracted. Elder Song and the others looked at the arena with a trace of worry on their faces. Lin Xian's technique is very special. It doesn't seem to be a common technique in the Xia Kingdom. Elder Song was surprised to see Lin Xian continue to draw while protecting the inscription. I heard that he has a master who doesn't appear in the world, but I don't know the details. Deacon Wang quickly said, but he is a disciple of the Sword Pool Mansion's Lin family. His identity is very clear, and he can participate in the battle of the Inscription Tower. Yes, I also heard about this. Deacon Meng said from the side. Just as the three of them were talking, the atmosphere in the arena finally calmed down. Huang Shanshan and Zhou Yong heaved a sigh of relief, but their expressions changed again. This was because they saw that Lin Xian's inscription was almost complete. Chapter 214. Lin Xian's speed was so fast that Huang Shanshan and Zhou Yong's expressions changed. Damn it! How can this kid be so fast? Zhou Yong's face was gloomy as he started to inscribe. Huang Shanshan also took a deep breath. She no longer paid attention to anything else and focused on drawing. The difference in performance was obvious. At least in terms of mental fortitude, Huang Shanshan was much stronger than Zhou Yong. In the end, Lin Xian was the first to finish inscribing. He continued to refine the second-grade elixir calmly. Huang Shanshan was the second to finish inscribing. She had already regained her composure. Zhou Yong was the last to finish. His face was ferocious as he looked at Lin Xian coldly. After 2 hours, the three of them finished inscribing. Elder Song and the rest walked over in anticipation and started to examine the 3 elixirs. They were most concerned about Huang Shanshan, so they were the first to examine her elixir. Not bad. The color is still a little rough, but it is a genuine second-grade elixir. Shanshan, you passed. Hearing this, the silver-robed woman's face finally showed a trace of joy. Then Elder Song and the rest looked at Zhou Yong. The purity is not enough, and the fire is still lacking. I was a little impatient. Elder Song said in a low voice. Deacon Wang and Deacon Meng sighed and shook their heads slightly. What? Zhou Yong did not pass. The surrounding disciples were also stunned. They had a new understanding of the second-grade inscriptionist examination. Zhou Yong's face was gloomy. He bowed to the 3 elders unwillingly and clenched his fist without saying a word. At this moment, everyone looked at Lin Xian. He definitely won't pass. Didn't you see that even a genius like Zhou Yong failed? Most people were not optimistic about Lin Xian. Even Zhao Xue was a little worried. After all, a second-grade inscriptionist soul power did not mean that he could become a second-grade inscriptionist. There were also many factors such as technique, proficiency, experience, and many others. It's a spiritual liquid. Elder Song was surprised. Previously, Shanshan and Zhou Yong were both refining elixirs. They did not expect Lin Xian to know how to refine spiritual liquid. In essence, there was no difference between the two. He opened the cork, and a mellow fragrance wafted out. Everyone was a little puzzled and subconsciously sniffed a few times. Isn't this wine? Could it be that this brat refined a pot of wine? I've already said that this brat is unreliable. Zhou Yong smelled the fragrance of the wine, and his heart calmed down slightly. Finally, he wasn't the only one who had failed. Elder Song and the others didn't pay much attention to this. The three of them checked carefully. The expressions of the three of them gradually turned solemn, and their eyes were filled with shock. In the end, Elder Song took a deep breath and said, "A second-grade spirit liquid, and a top-grade one at that." What? Everyone was stunned. They didn't expect this result. Second-grade spiritual liquid, and it's of superior quality. Zhou Yong felt his vision darken and nearly fainted. He did not think that the brat that he had always looked down on was actually even stronger than Shanshan. Shanshan's body was also tense, her beautiful eyes fixed on Lin Xian. At this moment, the others also reacted and looked at Lin Xian in shock. Elder Song's eyes flashed, a 17-year-old second-grade inscriber. "You're the first one in Xia country." "I was just lucky." Lin Xian smiled and bowed to the three seniors. "As a second-grade inscriber of the Inscription Alliance, you'll be protected by the Inscription Alliance. Correspondingly, you'll also have to complete some tasks. Every year, you'll refine 3 elixirs or weapons for the Inscription Alliance for free of charge." Elder Song said loudly. Lin Xian and the others knew about this, so they didn't have much of a reaction. After registering his information, Lin Xian received the silver robe of the Inscription Alliance. "Lin Xian, you're very talented. I hope we can exchange our experiences." Huang Shanshan smiled. "Senior Huang, you're too polite." Lin Xian said lightly, "When there's a chance, I'll definitely have a good exchange with you." After saying that, he left with Zhao Shui. Everyone was stunned. Their goddess, Shanshan, had actually invited Lin Xian. Many disciples were heartbroken. Zhou Yong's face turned black and his body trembled. However, what surprised them even more was that Lin Xian had actually rejected her. Huang Shanshan's face stiffened. In the past, she had always rejected others. This time, she finally tasted the feeling of being rejected. She stopped smiling and walked towards Elder Song and the others. Outside the Inscription Alliance, the warriors of the Xing family were waiting anxiously. "Are you sure that the lad went in?" the bald man asked. "Yes, I saw it with my own eyes," the warrior under him said. "Good, this time we can't let them escape," the bald man said darkly. "Big brother, that lad has come out." Xing Tong, who was wearing a cloak, stared at the door fiercely. "Be careful. Don't fight at the door of the Inscription Alliance. We'll fight him when he comes out." A group of people hid behind the building and waited patiently. Lin Xian noticed the presence of these people. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly as he slowly walked over. Zhao Shui followed behind him with a smile on her face. She was not worried about Lin Xian at all. In the entire Xing family, no one would dare to attack a second-grade inscriber. The two of them walked at a steady pace. Suddenly, dozens of warriors rushed out from both sides and surrounded them. Everyone's aura was very strong. It formed an invisible pressure that pressed down on the two of them. However, their pressure was like a stone sinking into the sea. It had no effect at all. "How dare you attack an inscriber?" Lin Xian said slowly. The bald man was stunned. Suddenly his pupils shrank. He saw a golden pattern on Zhao Shui's chest. A first-grade inscriber. The warriors were shocked. The aura on their bodies disappeared quickly. "Big brother!" Xing Tong shouted anxiously while wearing a cloak. Big brother Zhou Yong is also participating in the inscriber examination today. Maybe he's already a second-grade inscriber. When the time comes, are we afraid of a first-grade inscriber? Everyone's eyes lit up when they heard this. They could not afford to offend a first-grade inscriber. However, if a second-grade inscriber supported them, it would be different. One had to know that the difference in status between the two was like heaven and earth. "Surround them and wait for Zhou Yong to arrive," the bald man said in a low voice. "Are you sure?" Lin Xian asked. "If you anger us, the Xing family will be in big trouble." "Kid, you don't have to scare me." The bald man sneered. We still have a few first-grade inscribers. Big brother Zhou Yong is here. Xing Tong shouted happily. You two are dead. I'll make you my slaves, and you'll never be able to rise again. Brother Zhou, you're here. The bald man welcomed him with a smile. Zhou Yong did not pass the examination and was in a bad mood. He said a few words calmly and prepared to leave. Big brother Zhou, these two guys hurt me. You have to help me. Xing Tong screamed. Zhou Yong frowned and looked in front of him. In the crowd, Lin Xian and Zhao Shui were surrounded. They were looking at him with half smiles. Chapter 215. Zhou Yong's face twisted when he saw Lin Xian. However, when he thought of Lin Xian's status as a second-grade inscription master, he sighed. He could not afford to offend Lin Xian unless his master intervened. Big brother Zhou, you must have become a second-grade inscription master. Help me teach them a lesson. Xing Tong was still shouting. However, when they saw the golden pattern on Zhou Yong's chest, they were stunned. Brother Zhou, could it be that you? The bald man said doubtfully. I'm sorry, everyone. I can't do anything about this. Zhou Yong sighed. Lord Lin Xian, this has nothing to do with me. He cupped his fists and said to Lin Xian, Lord Lin. The surrounding martial artists were stunned and looked at Lin Xian in confusion. Someone who could be addressed as Lord by Zhou Yong was definitely not a simple person. Could it be that Lin Xian had an extraordinary background? The bald man suddenly had a bad premonition. He was about to ask when he realized that Zhou Yong had already run away. Lin Xian flipped his palm and put on his silver robe. The two golden patterns on his chest were as dazzling as swords. Second-grade inscription master. The Xing family martial artist's expressions changed, and the bald man almost jumped up. They never would have thought that Lin Xian was a second-grade inscription master. No wonder Lin Xian was not afraid of them. No wonder Zhou Yong called him Lord Lin Xian. Everything was clear now. It's a misunderstanding, Lord Lin. It's a misunderstanding. The bald man immediately smiled. They could not afford to offend a second-grade inscription master. Hurry up and disperse. If you block Lord Lin's path, I'll kill you. Lord Lin, take care. We'll leave now. The bald man nodded and bowed, preparing to leave. Wait, Lin Xian said in a low voice. You want to leave? Everyone stiffened and reluctantly stopped in their tracks. The bald man gritted his teeth and threw Xing Tong in front of Lin Xian. Then he punched and kicked him. You piece of trash! How dare you offend Lord Lin? You're courting death. Xing Tong twitched, clutching his head and screaming. He wanted to die now. A second-grade inscription master could kill him in the blink of an eye. Lord Lin, I was wrong. I was blind. I deserve to die. Xing Tong began to slap himself. Lord Lin, please let me go. It's done, Lin Xian said calmly. It's not impossible to let you go, but it depends on whether you are sincere. Lord Lin, feel free to instruct us. The Xing family will definitely get it done for you. The bald man hurriedly said. Xing Tong also looked at Lin Xian with hope. Lin Xian took out a piece of paper and wrote down a bunch of spiritual grasses. I'll give you 3 days to gather everything on the list and send it to the volcano cultivation room. The bald man took the paper and glanced at it. Seeing that it was full of precious spirit herbs, he immediately felt distressed. However, he couldn't show it on his face. If I don't see anything in 3 days, I'll have to make a trip to the Xing family. At that time, don't blame me for not giving you a chance. Lin Xian said calmly. Lord Lin, don't worry. We'll definitely deliver it. The bald man quickly said and left with the group. Lin Xian smiled as he watched the group leave. He then walked towards the volcano cultivation room with Zhao Shui. He entered the cultivation room again. This time, he wanted to remove the mark of the purple demon palace. He constantly scanned his body with his soul power. With Lord Alcohol's guidance, he finally found the mark. It was a purple dot of light the size of a needle. It was hidden deep within his body. In the past, Lin Xian wouldn't have been able to discover it. However, now that his soul power had increased, it was easy for him to find it. His soul power transformed into an invisible sword aura and pierced out, shattering the purple dot of light. Golden lightning surged, forming a spear that wrapped around it and sent it out of his body. After removing the purple dot of light, Lin Xian felt much more comfortable. Even the circulation of his spiritual power was much smoother. He closed his eyes and rested for a while. After adjusting his condition to its peak, he took out a huge block of ice. Cold air surged out, and the entire room seemed to be frozen. Inside the blue block of ice, the azure-haired man was motionless. However, Lin Xian could clearly feel that the azure-haired man's aura was still fluctuating. It's been so long, but he hasn't frozen to death? Lin Xian was surprised. With your current strength, you should be able to use the slave seal, Lord Alcohol said slowly. Do as I say. Lin Xian nodded. His soul power surged out and seeped into the ice block. When it came into contact with the azure-haired man, the latter's tightly shut eyes suddenly opened. Green flames danced in his eye sockets. Seal! Lin Xian's soul power surged into the azure-haired man's mind, forming a strange seal. Ka-ka-ka! The green flames in the azure-haired man's eyes danced. A terrifying aura spread out, causing cracks to appear on the ice block. Soul sword! A translucent sword beam surged out of Lin Xian's left eye, penetrating the ice block and entering the azure-haired man's soul. Chi-chi! Immediately, the green flames in the azure-haired man's eyes weakened significantly. As for Lin Xian's slave seal, it was successfully imprinted in his mind. It's a success. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Cloud Prefecture, underwater world. In a huge crack, there was a palace. Inside the palace, the bronze coffin suddenly trembled as a terrifying aura spread out in all directions. The waves at the bottom of the sea churned, forming a huge whirlpool that seemed to tear everything apart. Slave seal! A deep voice came from the coffin. In the cultivation room, Lin Xian released the azure-haired man and stared at him cautiously. Master! Inscriptions appeared in the azure-haired man's eyes. Okay. Lin Xian nodded in satisfaction. From the looks of it, the slave seal was indeed useful. Suddenly, the azure-haired man's body stiffened as the green flames in his eyes burned again. This is his true body summoning you. Quickly use your sword intent to sever this connection, reminded Lord Alcohol. Lin Xian's eyes focused as his sword intent surged. A sharp sword beam slashed out into the void. With the invisible connection severed, the azure-haired man regained his calm. All right, there won't be any accidents this time. Cloud Prefecture, underwater. The deep voice sounded again. Great Dragon Sword, cultivation room. Lin Xian exhaled and asked in a deep voice, Who are you? I'm your servant, said the azure-haired man. I'm asking who you were before. Or should I say, who is your true body? Left Azure, WRM Envoy, said the azure-haired man. What's your relationship with the Nether Hall? Lin Xian continued asking. The Nether Hall is one of the 8 halls of our sect, said the azure-haired man slowly. One of the 8 halls. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. According to what he knew, the Nether Hall had once controlled several countries and was abnormally powerful. But now it was only one of the halls. What sect? Tell me everything you know. Lin Xian said in a deep voice, The Nether Hall belongs to the Black Dragon sect. It's one of the weaker halls. The hall master is Old Man Nether, who has reached the earthly supremacy realm. Our sect's leader, the Black Dragon sect's leader, has boundless magic power. He's like a true god. He has 2 envoys for guardians and 8 hall masters. All of them are powerful. Chapter 216. The blue-haired man told him some basic information. He didn't know anything else. However, this was normal. He was just a doppelganger. It was already good enough that he knew so much. After Lin Xian heard this, his heart trembled. He realized that the Black Dragon cult was too powerful. Any random hall master could sweep through several countries. Moreover, he knew that there was a hall called the Purple Demon Hall, which was very similar to the Purple Demon Palace. Recently, the Nether Hall had been very active. Moreover, there was a suspicious sect like the Purple Demon Palace. Could it be that the Black Dragon cult was going to revive? Lin Xian was shocked. If this kind of power revived, it would definitely cause trouble for the entire continent. The Black Dragon cult wasn't a benevolent sect. Once they revived, there would definitely be a great war. It was useless to think about this now. It was better to increase his strength first. Lin Xian sighed. Then he put away the blue-haired man and started to cultivate. 5 days passed quickly. On this day, the bald man brought a few followers to the volcano cultivation room. They asked Lin Xian about the cultivation time and then waited patiently outside. The martial artists who came and went were puzzled. Many of them secretly guessed that the Xing clan must be waiting for some big shot. However, when they saw the bald man welcome Lin Xian, they almost bit off their tongues. For a moment, many martial artists were very curious about Lin Xian's identity. Fourth sky of the spiritual sea realm. Is that normal? Why is the Xing clan so humble? Many people were puzzled. Lord Lin, everything is here. Please take a look. The bald man handed over storage ring. Lin Xian scanned it with his soul power and found that it was the spirit herbs he was looking for. He immediately nodded in satisfaction. Oh, right. Where can I find high-grade fire attribute spirit herbs in the fire province? Lin Xian asked. High-grade fire attribute spirit herbs. The bald man was slightly stunned. Then he said, "There is a piece of news. Is it true?" "Speak," Lin Xian said in a deep voice. "It's like this. Recently, a piece of news has been spreading in the city. It is said that there is a volcano 500 miles north of Flame City. There is a bright glow and a strange fragrance. Many people think that it is a peerless spirit herb. Multicolored light, strange fragrance." Lin Xian rubbed his chin, somewhat convinced. "Big Head Xing, your Xing family has really declined, actually speaking so humbly to a piece of trash in the 4th layer of the spiritual ocean tier." A mocking voice rang out. It was extremely ear-piercing. The bald, burly man raised his head abruptly and said coldly, "Lai Wu, how dare you speak rudely to Lord Lin? You're courting death." "Lord Lin, what bullsh *T Lord?" That voice was full of disdain. Lin Xian raised his head and stared coldly ahead. There was a red-robed young man standing there. He held a folding fan in his hand and looked at the bald man and Lin Xian with disdain. "The 6th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Is this what gives you the right to be so arrogant?" The corner of Lin Xian's mouth raised slightly. "Humph, it's enough to deal with you. I can crush you to death as easily as crushing an ant." The red-robed youth waved his fan and said arrogantly, "Lai Wu, you're really courting death." Big Head Xing sneered. "Our Lord Lin is a 2nd-grade inscription master. Quickly kowtow and admit your mistake." 2nd-grade inscription master. The surrounding martial artists were stunned. That was an existence on the same level as a harmonious spirit realm expert. Really? Isn't he too young? The crowd was in disbelief. Lai Wu froze, then laughed loudly. "I say, Big Head Xing, will you die if you don't brag? If he's a 2nd-grade inscription master, then I'm a harmonious spirit realm expert." Lai Wu was extremely arrogant, laughing until tears came out. But soon he couldn't laugh anymore, and his handsome face became extremely ugly, because he saw Lin Xian slowly put on his silver-white robe. The 2 golden lines on his chest were like sharp blades, stabbing into his heart. "You!" Lai Wu opened his mouth, but couldn't say anything. The surrounding martial artists were also shocked, looking at Lin Xian with disbelief. This was probably the youngest second-grade inscription master they'd ever seen. "Lai Wu, quickly admit your mistake to Lord Lin." The bald man coldly shouted. The red-robed youth's expression was conflicted, and he was stunned for a moment. A second-grade inscription master, is that so great? A slightly frivolous voice sounded. The crowd was stunned. There was actually someone who dared to challenge a second-grade inscription master. That was too daring. Big Head Xing frowned, and just as he was about to shout, he was stopped by Lin Xian. Under the crowd's attention, a devilish man appeared. He was wearing a purple robe with a handsome face and fair skin, but his lips were as red as blood. Many people wiped the cold sweat off their foreheads, feeling their hearts palpitate. "He's from the Purple Extreme Demon Palace," Zhao Shui transmitted. "The third in the younger generation of the Purple Extreme Demon Palace, Ru Shui." Lin Xian was secretly on guard. His intuition told him that the man in front of him was very dangerous. "Lord Ru Shui, you've come at the right time." Lai Wu walked to Ru Shui's side as if he saw his savior. "Since I'm here, I can guarantee that you'll be fine." Ru Shui's red lips did not move, but a feminine voice came out. So what if you're a second-grade inscription master? In front of Lord Ru Shui, you're nothing." Lai Wu became arrogant again. "Is that so?" Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and stared at Lai Wu. "Wow." Lai Wu's body trembled and he felt dizzy. The scene around him changed, and countless swords pierced his heart. That kind of pain made him want to die. "Pa!" A hand was placed on his body, pulling him back from the illusion. Lai Wu's whole body was covered in sweat, and his face was abnormally pale. He looked at Lin Xian in fear. "Your opponent is me." Ru Shui's mouth curved into an evil smile, and his lips became even more red, as if blood was about to drip out. Ding! Bang! Crack! Their gazes met, and sparks flew in the air, causing the void to tremble. "The 2 of you are not allowed to use martial arts in the cultivation area, so please restrain yourselves." A mighty wave of spiritual energy came, as if 100,000 mountains were pressing down on everyone's hearts. "It's a harmonious spirit expert." Someone shouted in a low voice. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. He felt that the energy did not really descend, but it was just a warning. After fighting with the Tsang family's great elder, Lin Xian knew how terrifying a harmonious spirit expert was. He did not want to fight with such a person now, and there was no need for him to offend the volcano cultivation area. "Sorry for the disturbance. I'll take my leave now," Lin Xian said loudly, and then left with Zhao Shui. On the other side, Ru Shui looked at Lin Xian, and his eyes revealed a trace of coldness. "Let's go, don't delay our business." Ru Shui smiled evilly. Hearing this, Lai Wu nodded. "My father is ready. Why don't you follow me back?" Ru Shui shook his sleeve and turned into a cloud of blood mist and left. After they left, the surrounding people let out a sigh of relief. "That demonic man is so scary." Someone patted his chest and said, "That young man called Lord Lin is not simple either. Such a young second-grade inscription master. He is definitely a demonic existence. I heard that a divine medicine has appeared in the north. Do you think that these people will appear?" "That's for sure." Someone was excited. "I have to go back and prepare. I can't miss such a good thing." After leaving the cultivation room, Lin Xian and Zhao Shui left the city, and the 2 of them headed towards the volcano cultivation area in the north. Chapter 217. After traveling a few hundred miles, Lin Xian stopped in his tracks. In front of him was a group of volcanoes that towered into the clouds. A few of them were still emitting smoke. Feeling the rising temperature in the air, Lin Xian's eyes narrowed and he became cautious. With his purple spirit eyes, he could clearly see that there were many martial artists at the foot of the volcano. Among them, there were a few powerful auras that made his heart palpitate. "It seems that the news is most likely true," Zhao Shui said softly. "Let's go and take a look." Lin Xian's footsteps swayed as he ran forward quickly. At the foot of the volcano, the ground was cracked and the heat was unbearable. It was like a huge furnace that was roasting everything. There were many martial artists nearby. Among them, the most powerful were the Xing and Lai families. The two families each occupied an area and were eyeing covetously. There were also many martial artists who were wandering around, waiting for the right opportunity. "With the Xing and Lai families here, we have no chance at all," someone complained softly. "What do you know?" Another martial artist shouted. "This treasure has already alerted the other forces in the fire state. When the time comes, not only the Xing and Lai families, but even the entire blazing city will not be able to compete." "How is that possible?" someone asked. "If the Earth Fire sect were to come, would you be afraid?" Many martial artists shut their mouths. That was a third-rank sect, a giant in Xia country. Who wouldn't be afraid? Someone is coming. Many martial artists woke up from their meditation and looked towards the entrance. Two silhouettes could be seen rushing over. Their speed was so fast that it was frightening. Swoosh! The two of them stopped in their tracks and looked around cautiously. Everyone looked at the silver robes on their bodies, and they were slightly shocked. "They are from the Inscription Union." Some martial artists took a deep breath. Then many people exclaimed and some even stood up. This was because they saw two golden tattoos on the chest of one of the young men. A second-rank inscription master. Many martial artists were shocked. They could not imagine that a young man would have such a terrifying identity. Then people from the Xing and Lai families walked out and cupped their fists at Lin Xian. This young man was naturally Lin Xian. He returned the greeting and brought Zhao Shui to a clean rock to rest temporarily. "Wuji wuji." The snow-white monkey jumped out and looked around curiously with its big, black, gem-like eyes. Suddenly, its nose twitched, and an intoxicated expression appeared on its face. After making a bunch of gestures to Lin Xian, the little white monkey disappeared with a whoosh. Lin Xian didn't mind. The little white monkey was far more shrewd than he thought, so he was very relieved. His eyes flickered as he looked at the volcano ahead. As time passed, the bald man from the Xing family arrived. Not long after, Lai Wu and Ru Shui also arrived. The latter stared at Lin Xian, and the coldness in his eyes grew even stronger. Lin Xian ignored the provocative gaze. If the other party really dared to make a move, he wouldn't mind giving them a taste of their own medicine. "The people from the Inscription Union are here." Suddenly, someone called out in a low voice. Silhouettes flashed, and more than 10 white-robed warriors appeared in front of everyone. Immediately, a tyrannical pressure emerged in the air. Elder Song didn't come. The leaders were Deacon Wang and Deacon Meng. Behind them were Huang Shanshan and some other young disciples. Deacon Wang saw Lin Xian on the giant rock, and his face lit up with joy. He then led the crowd over. "Seniors." Lin Xian smiled and greeted Huang Shanshan. "You are already a second-grade inscription master. From now on, we can call each other as equals." Deacon Wang shook his head and smiled. Lin Xian smiled. This was a world where strength was respected and the age issue could be ignored. In other words, if Lin Xian was a harmonious spirit realm warrior, then these people would respectfully call him senior. Lin Xian didn't dwell on this issue and quickly asked, "What's the situation here?" "It should be the birth of a spirit herb, but we can't rule out other possibilities." Deacon Wang said in a deep voice, "I don't think there will be a harmonious spirit realm old monster." "Oh," Lin Xian's heart skipped a beat. That kind of expert's destructive power is too great. I think the whole mountain will be destroyed with just one attack. Moreover, almost every force has a harmonious spirit realm expert behind them. If they want to fight, everyone will fight. Rather than that, it's better to not fight and leave it to the younger generation. This way, the younger generation can also be trained. Lin Xian nodded in agreement. The destructive power of a harmonious spirit realm warrior was indeed too great. He had experienced it firsthand. In the following time, more and more forces arrived. A strange fragrance floated in the air, and half of the volcano was shrouded in multicolored light. Wooji wooji! Suddenly, a snow-white figure flashed across the sky and ran directly into Lin Xian's arms. Swoosh swoosh! Behind it were a few figures with sharp auras. Swoosh! With a flash, a cute girl appeared. Her beautiful big eyes stared at the snow-white little monkey in Lin Xian's arms, and she frowned slightly. "Hey, is that monkey yours? Are you selling it?" the girl asked in a sweet voice. Wooji wooji! The snow-white little monkey jumped out with a disdainful expression. It kept gesturing something. What is it saying? The crowd was puzzled. I am the one and only in the world. I cannot be measured by money. Lin Xian shrugged and translated for the little monkey. Many people looked at the palm-sized monkey with a strange expression and couldn't help but laugh. Little monkey, I have a spirit fruit for you. The cute girl took out a fist-sized fruit and shook it in front of the little monkey. The fruit was crystal clear. It was obviously not an ordinary fruit. Immediately, many people's eyes flashed and stared at the cute girl with an unfriendly expression. The cute girl didn't seem to feel those gazes. She saw the little monkey take 2 steps forward and take out an agate-like fruit. Whoosh! Many people's breathing became rapid. Most of them stared at the spirit fruit in the cute girl's hand with burning eyes. Humph! A cold snort was heard. It exploded in everyone's ears and woke many of the warriors up. Unknowingly, a short old man appeared behind the cute girl. His body emitted a dangerous aura. Everyone's body trembled, and the evil thoughts in their hearts instantly disappeared. The cute girl didn't seem to know anything and continued to call out to the little monkey. Swish! The little monkey couldn't resist the temptation and jumped onto the cute girl's body. It held the spirit fruit and ate it with a smile. Everyone had different expressions. Their eyes were filled with envy. Many people wished they could become monkeys and pounce on it. The cute girl glanced at Lin Xian provocatively and snorted with her delicate little nose. If it wants to go with you, I won't stop it. Lin Xian shrugged. The short old man behind the cute girl looked at Lin Xian in surprise. He didn't expect this young man to be so straightforward. The cute girl hugged the little monkey and sat to the side. Her expression was full of joy. At this time, many people arrived. There were a few fierce auras that made everyone feel a little apprehensive. Chapter 218. It's someone from the Earthfire sect. Everyone panicked and retreated. From this point, one could see how terrifying a 3-star sect was. Just the arrival of a disciple could cause such a huge commotion. There were a total of 6 people from the Earthfire sect. One of them was tall and had flames dancing on his body like a fire god. Meng Yan. Many warriors secretly swallowed their saliva as they looked at the flame-like man with fear. That was the genius warrior ranked first on the hidden dragon list. Lin Xian stared the fiery figure and was slightly surprised. He realized that Meng Yan's aura had become even stronger, as expected of the first on the hidden dragon list. His cultivation speed is indeed terrifying. I wonder how strong Lin Feng is now. Lin Xian's heart sank as he felt the pressure once again. I have to get my hands on the spiritual herb this time. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. Growing in this volcano was definitely a fire elemental spiritual herb. It was just what he needed. With this fire elemental spiritual herb, he could let Lord Alcohol refine spiritual wine and increase his cultivation. With this in mind, Lin Xian's eyes gradually burned with passion. The Earth Fire sect martial artist found a comfortable place and sat down. Among them, Meng Yan's pupils constricted when he saw the silver-robed Lin Xian, a second-grade inscription master. He whispered as flames seemed to dance in his eyes. Nodding slightly, Meng Yan greeted Lin Xian. Lin Xian replied with a smile. Is he Lin Xian? Isn't he a sword cultivator? How did he become an inscription master? A fair-skinned youth beside Meng Yan was puzzled. It's getting more and more interesting. I'm looking forward to the moment when he duels with Lin Feng. Flames danced on Meng Yan's body as though he had thought of something interesting. Humph. No matter how powerful Swordpool Manor is, they are still suppressed by us. The youth said disdainfully, One day I will defeat them all. Meng Yan looked at the youth beside him and warned, You promised the sect master to listen to me. That's why I let you out. Don't cause trouble for me. Don't worry, eldest senior brother. That youth smiled and said, That is really too much. I'm not a child. This youth was actually the child of the Earthfire sect master. This was something that no one could have imagined. Hey, what a smart little monkey. The young man's eyes lit up when he saw the little white monkey in the distance. Beauty, my name is Zhu Hao. How should I address you? Everyone was stunned. They never thought that an Earthfire sect martial artist would strike up a conversation like this. The short old man behind the cute girl stared at Zhu Hao with an unfriendly expression. His eyes were filled with warning. However, it was obvious that Zhu Hao had overlooked it. As if annoyed by the stare, the cute girl frowned and said, Jiang Ruya. Good name. Zhu Hao shouted, then laughed strangely. Your monkey is not bad. How about you sell it to me? Black lines appeared on everyone's forehead. Wasn't this target changing too quickly? Jiang Rua pouted and snorted. Not selling. After saying that, she hugged the little white monkey even tighter. I have something good. Zhu Hao ignored the cute girl and took out 2 bright red fruits, shaking them continuously. Everyone felt dizzy. There was an extremely familiar feeling. Swoosh! The little white monkey's body flashed and jumped onto Zhu Hao's body, making woo-ji-ji noises. Everyone was stunned and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian smiled faintly and did not say anything. Damn monkey, you're ungrateful. Jiang Rua said angrily, Wu-ji-ji. The little white monkey ate the spiritual fruit while showing an aggrieved expression. It kept gesturing something. Humph. Speaking of spiritual fruits, I have some too. Jiang Rua said angrily. She flipped her hand and took out a few high-grade spiritual fruits. The snow-white little monkey ate happily, and its pair of big eyes narrowed into a crescent shape. Everyone's eyes were burning. They wished that they could be a monkey too. Meng Yan looked at Jiang Rua and revealed a surprised expression. He knew that Zhu Hao had a special identity and had many spiritual fruits on him. However, the girl in front of him did not lose to Zhu Hao at all. After thinking for a long time, he still could not guess her identity. At this moment, the little white monkey's belly was bulging and it kept burping. It waved its little paws at Jiang Rua and Zhu Hao. The little white monkey turned into a white light and returned to Lin Xian's side. Wu-ji-ji. The little white monkey sat on Lin Xian's shoulder and took out a few spiritual fruits and handed them to Lin Xian. You're full. Is this mine? Lin Xian said with a smile. You bastard. Zhu Hao and Jiang Rua jumped up and stared at Lin Xian unkindly. Give me the little monkey. You're a bad guy. Everyone was stunned. When they thought of Lin Xian's indifference, they seemed to have thought of something. Even the people of the Inscription Union looked at Lin Xian in surprise. They did not expect things to turn out this way. I said that if it's willing to follow you, I won't stop it, Lin Xian said in a low voice. Now it seems that it's unwilling to go with you. Nonsense. I'm so handsome. How can it not like me? Zhu Hao's face turned cold. That's right. I still have a lot of spiritual fruits, Jiang Riyue said angrily. Whoosh! With a flash, the little white monkey directly entered the storage ring and went to sleep. Humph! Give me the little monkey. Zhu Hao was proud and arrogant. He had never suffered such a loss before. He stomped his feet, and the ground bulged slightly. A hot current gushed out quickly. Retreat! Deacon Wang and Deacon Ming's faces changed. They quickly led the disciples around them to dodge. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed, and he floated to a place where there was no one. Boom! The ground cracked, and a red light beam rushed out. The place where Lin Xian and the others were standing turned into a sea of fire. The surrounding cultivators sucked in a breath of cold air as they looked at Zhu Hao with fear. Who would have thought that this young man could have such terrifying attack power? This attack has the power of the sixth sky of the spiritual ocean tier. Everyone retreated, afraid of being affected. Swish! After his attack failed, Zhu Hao's body flashed and rushed toward Lin Xian. Great Flame Steel Fist. With a punch, his arm turned into a glazed color. Flames soared into the sky, and heat waves swept out in all directions. A terrifying aura rushed toward Lin Xian. Sixth sky of the spiritual ocean tier. Lin Xian was surprised. He did not expect this young man's cultivation to be so high. He glanced at Meng Yan and saw that the latter was not worried at all. With such strength, he was probably in the top 20 of the hidden dragon roll. No wonder Meng Yan was not worried. Lin Xian smiled. Just nice to test the power of the copper thunder pattern. Without any intention of dodging, Lin Xian stretched out his right hand. His 5 fingers formed a claw as he grabbed at the fiery red fist. Everyone was stunned. Lin Xian's aura was only in the 4th sky of the spiritual ocean tier. It was very unwise to fight a martial artist in the 6th sky of the spiritual ocean tier. What is Lin Xian thinking? Deacon Meng and the other martial artists of the Inscription League changed their expressions. On the other side, the martial artists of the Earthfire sect sneered when they saw the scene. What an idiot! This Great Flame Steel Fist is a middle spirit tier martial art, and junior apprentice brother Zhu has practiced it to the small success stage. Normal 6th sky of the spiritual ocean tier martial artists would not dare to take this punch, let alone a 4th sky of the spiritual ocean tier martial artist. Chapter 219. The Earthfire Sect Warriors looked at Lin Xian with disdain. When Zhu Hao saw Lin Xian's actions, he was also taken aback. However, his fist still shot out quickly. Get lost! He shouted. This is not something you can handle. Lin Xian's expression did not change as he quickly reached out with his palm. Boom! 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 A shock wave exploded, shattering the surrounding mountain rocks. Everyone looked over anxiously, and many of them exclaimed. Among them, the Earthfire sect had the biggest reaction. A few warriors stood up with looks of disbelief. You, how can you handle it? Zhu Hao's face was pale. His fist was tightly gripped, and he could not move. In the arena, Lin Xian stood with a smile. One of his palms was blocking the fiery red fist, neutralizing the violent punch. Open! Zhu Hao suddenly exerted his strength. The spiritual energy in his body surged like flames. Stimulated by the flames, Lin Xian's body surface was covered in copper lightning patterns. It was extremely mysterious and emitted a terrifying energy. What move is this? The crowd did not understand as they looked curiously at Lin Xian. When Meng Yan saw the lightning, his eyes narrowed, revealing a grave expression. Zhu Hao did not give up. His left fist quickly struck towards Lin Xian's lower ribs. At such a close distance, there was no time to defend. The fiery red fist was like a small sun, bursting with dazzling light. Boom! A loud sound was heard. Flames danced and lightning overflowed. The ground cracked and the earth trembled. Magma spewed out from the surroundings. Humph! After receiving such a heavy attack, he's definitely dead. Lai Wu said hatefully. Beside him, Ru Shui had a sinister smile on his face. No one knew what he was thinking. Ouch! It hurts. An exasperated voice was heard with a hint of indignation. Hearing this voice, the Earth Fire sect disciples' expressions changed. Even Mang Yen stood up. Whoosh! A figure flew out and landed near the Earth Fire sect. He kept retreating, and every step he took left a terrifying footprint on the ground. Mang Yen reached out and caught the figure. Pain, pain! Zhu Hao's face fell as he kept rubbing his fists. Everyone was stunned and looked at Lin Xian in horror. The scene just now was blocked by the magma, so they didn't know what had happened. Lai Wu looked at Lin Xian with fear in his eyes. His blood-red eyes flashed, and a rare solemn expression appeared on his face. The people of the Inscription Alliance were the most horrified. They had sensed the scene with their souls, and a horrified expression appeared on their faces. Just now, Zhu Hao's fist had landed squarely on Lin Xian's body. However, it didn't cause any damage. Not only that, it even injured Zhu Hao. This kind of method was too terrifying. Even a martial artist at the sixth sky of the spiritual ocean tier couldn't injure Lin Xian, which was hard to believe. What a powerful copper thunder pattern! Lin Xian was excited. He had risked his life to snatch the thunder python skin from a harmonious spirit expert and successfully refine the copper thunder mark. Now it was finally showing its effect. He estimated that ordinary martial artists below the seventh sky of the spiritual ocean tier wouldn't be able to injure him. Lin Xian had a rough guess in his heart. However, this was only limited to ordinary martial arts. For some genius martial artists who had comprehended sword intent or concept, it was very likely to injure them. However, this didn't affect the power of the copper thunder pattern. After all, there were only a small number of such martial artists. How powerful would the silver thunder pattern and gold thunder pattern be? Lin Xian didn't dare to imagine. I'll teach you a lesson. Seeing Lin Xian smile, Jiang Riyue was instantly enraged. Her delicate face was covered with coldness. Her graceful body flashed and disappeared from the spot. So fast! Everyone was shocked again. They couldn't see Jiang Riyue's movement at all. Swoosh! Lin Xian used the wind thunder step and disappeared from the spot. In the next moment, he reappeared in another place. Damn it, don't run! Jiang Riyue shouted angrily as she missed. Lin Xian rubbed his chin helplessly and nodded. All right, I won't run. I'll beat you to death, you big liar. Jiang Riyue formed a strange seal with her palms and raised it above her head. A simple and unadorned water bottle appeared in her hand. Thousands of rays of light fell from the bottle. A vicissitude aura rushed over, causing everyone's eyelids to twitch. What kind of move is this? It's so terrifying. The surrounding martial artists ran far away. Aquarius seal, Jiang Riyue shouted. She held the Aquarius in her hand and struck out a powerful attack. A silver waterfall flew towards Lin Xian like an upside-down waterfall. Wherever it passed, the mountain was sliced in half. Clang! Clang! The silver waterfall slashed on Lin Xian's body, creating a string of sparks. The lightning on the surface of Lin Xian's body shone brightly as streaks of mysterious lightning patterns appeared, forming a strong defense that forcefully blocked the silver waterfall. Break! Lin Xian bellowed as he punched out with his fist, bringing along a flash of lightning as it collided with the silver waterfall. Crack! 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 Like a mirror, the silver waterfall shattered into countless pieces. What a perverted defense! Jiang Rue cursed softly. What a tortoise shell! If you're done, go back. I don't have time to play with you. Lin Xian said indifferently. You. Jiang Rue was furious. Who's done? Let's attack together, Zhu Hao said with a cold face. The two of them turned into two rays of light and rushed towards Lin Xian. At the same time, they struck out a powerful attack. Lin Xian stomped on the ground. The lightning under his feet turned into several dragons. The terrifying force caused the ground to crack. Rumble. Within a radius of 50 meters, the ground cracked into countless pieces. Magma gushed out from the ground, emitting a terrifying heat wave. At the same time, the dragons formed by the lightning roared at the sky. Their momentum shook the sky and sent Zhu Hao and Jiang Rue flying. Swoosh! Swoosh! Meng Yan caught Zhu Hao. The short old man also retreated with Jiang Rue. The magma under the ground kept rolling and flowing in all directions. While everyone was avoiding the magma, they looked at Lin Xian in horror and kept swallowing their saliva. Wasn't he an inscription master? How could he have such a strong physique? Everyone was puzzled. After a while, everything calmed down. The magma under the ground flowed out, revealing a hole. It was dark and exuded a terrifying heat. No one knew where it led to. Hey, there's a fragrance. Is the spiritual medicine inside? The martial artists of the Inscription Union were puzzled. They were the most sensitive to the smell of spiritual medicine. Deacon Wang and Deacon Meng looked at each other and did not dare to make a decision. Lin Xian, what do you think? Deacon Wang asked. As long as there's a chance, I'll go down and investigate. Lin Xian's voice was firm. The fire attribute, spiritual medicine, was very important to him, so he would not give it up. The martial artists of the other forces were also discussing with each other. Wooji wooji. The little white monkey jumped out and grabbed Lin Xian's clothes, shaking it constantly. Got it. Lin Xian rubbed its head and said to Deacon Wang and the others, Seniors, I'll go in first. After that, he turned into a shadow and went in. Chapter 220. After entering the underground tunnel, Lin Xian felt a heat wave that was more than 1,000 degrees Celsius. The lightning patterns on his body glowed, forming a lightning defense that wrapped Lin Xian up. He was like a shooting star falling down rapidly. Outside, a group of martial artists had uncertain gazes. We can't let that kid reap the benefits. Let's go in quickly. Earthfire Sect, Life Family, and other factions quickly jumped in. On the Inscription Alliance's side, Attendant Wang and Attendant Meng looked at each other and made a decision. The underground is dangerous and unpredictable. Disciples below the 5th layer of the spiritual ocean tier shouldn't go. A few disciples walked out and stood to the side. Although they were unwilling, they knew it was for their own good. Just the heat wave alone wasn't something they could withstand. The others followed the two attendants and jumped down. Pung! Lin Xian landed on a rock stratum, causing countless cracks to appear. He used his purple spirit eyes to observe the surroundings. Wooji wooji! The snow-white monkey jumped onto his shoulder and pointed ahead, crying nonstop. All right, I'll listen to you. Lin Xian smiled and quickly rushed forward. The ground was filled with fiery red magma that made sizzling sounds as he stepped on it. Lin Xian increased his speed and quickly passed through the scorching zone. Gradually, red plants appeared on both sides of the road, with agate-like fruits growing on them. It's a fire bodhi! Lord Alcohol exclaimed. Xiao, Xuanzi, pick more. Lord Alcohol wants to brew wine. Lin Xian stopped in his tracks and quickly picked them up. These fruits were extremely hot. If not for Lin Xian's copper thunder pattern, it would have been difficult to pick them. On the other side, the snow-white monkey was also busy. A white light flashed, and a red fruit on a vine was gone. After a while, over 20 fire Bodhi fruits were all picked. Lin Xian set off again. Not long after he left, the large group behind him arrived. "There are plants!" Lai family's martial artists exclaimed. This is an obvious sign of being picked. Could it be that the kid picked them? The faces of the martial artists were gloomy, and the Earth Fire sect martial artists were even more furious. They were fire tribute martial artists, so these fruits were like holy fruits to them. But now they could only watch helplessly. "Speed up," Mang Yen said in a low voice. He led the people from the Earth Fire sect and transformed into a beam of light as they quickly left. "Let's go quickly. We can't let Lin Xian get hurt." The people of the Inscription Alliance also rushed forward quickly. On the side of the Lai family, Ru Shui left the group and turned into a bloody mist, disappearing quickly. The last ones to arrive were Jiang Riyue and the Short Elder. "It's actually a fire Bodhi." The Short Elder was astonished. Then he transplanted a few fire vines and put them into his storage ring. Jiang Riyue blinked her big eyes and waited quietly for the old man. A moment later, the two of them set off again. There were 3 forks in the road ahead. Lin Xian's eyes flashed as he used his soul force to probe ahead. In the end, the 3 paths were exactly the same for at least 100 meters. "Wuji Wuji," the little white monkey pointed at the path ahead with a confident look. Lin Xian did not hesitate. His body flashed and disappeared into the path. Not long after, the people behind also arrived at the intersection. "Damn it, there are 3 paths." The people from the Lai family cursed. "Let's split up." They split into 3 groups and entered the 3 paths. The disciples of the Earth Fire sect looked at Meng Yen and waited for his decision. "Zhu Hao and I will take one path. The rest of you, don't split up and take the other path." Then he led Zhu Hao into the path on the right. "Let's take the left path," the remaining disciples of the Earth Fire sect said. The few of them also quickly disappeared. Whoosh! A cloud of red blood mist suddenly appeared and transformed into a human figure. Ru Shui licked her red lips and sensed the aura left in the air. Then she sneered and entered the path in front. The people of the Inscription Alliance also split into 2 groups and walked into the left and right paths. Finally, the Short Elder and Jiang Riyue entered the path in front. Lin Xian's path was unimpeded as he sped forward. On the ground, he discovered many red crystals that contained a surge of energy. "This is a fire crystal. It's even more precious than a mid-grade spirit stone," Lord Alcohol said. Since it was good stuff, Lin Xian did not hold back. With a wave of his sleeve, all the fire crystals on the ground were taken away. Suddenly, his eyebrows twitched as he sensed a faint aura coming from behind him. Purple Extreme Devil Palace. Lin Xian sneered when he sensed the yin qi. Qi, qi. Countless red threads flew out like fine sword marks and stabbed at Lin Xian. Lin Xian turned around and punched out. Thunder roared, and the fierce power of lightning formed a lightning dragon that swept in all directions. The dark red threads were all broken and drowned by the sea of lightning. Swoosh! The moment Lin Xian punched out, a red mist appeared behind him. A pale hand held a demonic dagger and stabbed at his back. Ding! The copper lightning runes on Lin Xian's body flourished, and densely packed lightning runes appeared on his body. At the same time, he twisted his body and swept his right leg behind him like a heavenly saber. The dagger was blocked by the copper lightning runes, and Ru Shui turned into a bloody mist again. Lin Xian's right leg passed through the bloody mist without causing any damage. Whoosh! Whoosh! The bloody mist churned as Ru Shui's body appeared. Her red lips looked as if they were about to drip blood. Fire! She opened her mouth for the first time. As if there was an invisible magic, flames suddenly surged out from both sides of the passage. In an instant, the place turned into a sea of fire. Illusion. Lin Xian was vigilant. He had only seen eye techniques before, but he did not expect to see another soul technique this time. The sea of fire surged, as if it wanted to devour Lin Xian. Whoosh! A sword beam rushed up and cut the sea of fire in half. Soul sword. Ru Shui was shocked for the first time. Fire beast blood devour. A drop of blood seemed to float out of her red lips and fell into the sea of fire. Roar. Suddenly a low roar rang out. Dozens of ferocious and terrifying demonic beasts appeared in the surroundings. Flames danced on their bodies, and huge beast claws pounced on Lin Xian. The soul sword waved again and killed all the demonic beasts near him. However, more and more flaming demonic beasts pounced over. Sword spirit space. Lin Xian's right eye emitted light and formed an independent spiritual world, sucking in all the demonic beasts in the sea of fire. The soul sword stabbed out again and quickly slashed at Ru Shui. Poof! Ru Shui clearly did not expect Lin Xian's soul attack to be so exquisite that it could destroy his flaming demonic beasts in an instant. In his carelessness he was injured. His body swayed and the fire world retreated. Ru Shui stood in front of him with a pale face. Let me show you my blood demon technique. Ru Shui stretched out her thumb and wiped her seductive red lips. Chapter 221. A drop of blood appeared in the air, carrying with it a boundless, murderous aura. Ru Shui's arm swayed as she whispered. The blood spread rapidly, forming a strange pattern. Blood demon, come out. A low roar reverberated in the air, causing the void to vibrate with a buzzing sound. The pattern in the air shone brightly, emitting a dazzling red light. Then, a blood-red arm stretched out, like a demon returning from hell. Finally, a ferocious blood demon appeared in front of Lin Xian. The blood demon looked like a human, but it had 4 arms and a horn on its head. Blood dripped from its body. Ru Shui stood in the distance, her red lips slightly opened, emitting a strange sound wave. Buzz! The blood demon suddenly charged at Lin Xian. Its 4 arms waved nonstop, forming a sky full of fist shadows. Lin Xian punched out like a bolt of lightning. The terrifying energy hit the blood demon's body, causing ripples. A bull-sized hole appeared on its body, but most of Lin Xian's fist power was absorbed by the flowing liquid on the blood demon's body. Moreover, the hole was healing quickly. Not only that, but the blood demon's greatest characteristic was that it was not afraid of pain. It's a killing machine. Roar! The blood demon roared, and its 4 arms formed different shapes, forming a huge attack. Bang! Boom! Clang! Lin Xian attacked with all his might, clashing with the blood demon. Terrifying energy spread in all directions. For a moment, the two were in a deadlock. Hee, I'm going to take your head. Ru Shui laughed evilly. Humph. Purple Extreme Demon Palace is nothing more than this. Lin Xian sneered. Lightning storm. Golden electric arcs surged. Strong winds blew. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. The blood demon was hit by the lightning and let out a scream. Sizzle, sizzle, like ice meeting fire kept melting. Under the effect of the golden electric arcs, terrifying wounds appeared on the blood demon's body. Whoosh! The blood demon retreated and stood beside Ru Shui. Impossible! My blood demon is not afraid of ordinary lightning. Ru Shui's face darkened as she looked at the golden electric arcs with fear. How dare you hurt my blood demon? I'll kill you. I've already killed quite a few disciples of the Purple Extreme Devil Palace. One more won't make a difference. Lin Xian said disdainfully, Show me what you've got. What? How dare you kill a disciple of my Devil Palace? Ru Shui's pupils shrank. I want to drink your blood, eat your flesh, and make you fall into hell forever. Fuse! His body flashed and turned into a cloud of blood mist that fused into the blood demon's body. Wang! Wang! In an instant, 2 cold glints appeared in the blood demon's eye sockets. Ka ka ka! The blood demon shook its body, and the wound caused by the golden lightning arc quickly healed. Not only that, the aura on his body was much more powerful, almost reaching the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier. Now, I won't be afraid of your golden lightning anymore. Obediently accept your death. Ru Shui laughed nastily, and his body turned into a bloody afterimage. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Lin Xian. His 4 arms danced quickly, and a terrifying attack enveloped Lin Xian's entire body. Hung long long, golden lightning surged out and turned into a lightning beast, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It's useless. Ru Shui laughed loudly, clenched his fists, and punched the lightning beast, shattering it. Lin Xian frowned, and his eyes gradually became fierce. The next moment, a sword light flashed. Like a graceful swan, it turned into a strange arc in the air. Ah! Ru Shui screamed and retreated in horror. This is sword intent. Damn it! You're a sword cultivator. A terrifying sword mark appeared on his chest, almost splitting him in half. Let's end this. Lin Xian's sword intent kept rising. The dragon-shaped mark in his body glowed, and a dragon head roared. Chi! A sword slashed out, as if a dragon's roar was heard. The sword light was extremely fast, and instantly enveloped Ru Shui. Pu piu piu! Countless sword lights appeared in all directions, sharp to the extreme. 3 of Ru Shui's 4 arms were broken, and his chest was hit again. No, I don't want to die. Blood, demon body disintegration technique. Ru Shui shouted in horror. The blood demon exploded, forming thousands of bloodlines that rushed in all directions. Many of them drilled into the ground and stone walls, disappearing. Lin Xian did not attack again. That sword strike had severely injured Ru Shui, and he would not be able to fight for at least half a year. He put away his long sword and continued to walk forward. At that moment, there was a sudden sound of something breaking through the air behind him. Lin Xian stopped and turned around. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 figures landed. It was Jiang Riyue and the short old man. The short old man looked at the sword marks around him and felt the remaining aura in the air. He said in a deep voice, "What a sharp sword intent." "Humph, big liar." Jiang Riyue snorted. "I'm not a liar." Lin Xian touched his chin and said with a smile, "I didn't expect you to be a sword cultivator. The younger generation will surpass us in time." The short old man looked at Lin Xian and praised, "You flatter me." Lin Xian smiled. "It's dangerous ahead. Why don't we go together?" He could see that the short old man had no ill intentions. Lin Xian also felt that Jiang Riyue's identity was not simple. After all, not everyone could take out a handful of spirit fruits to feed a monkey. All right. The short old man smiled. On the other hand, Jiang Riyue pouted angrily with an unhappy look on her face. The 3 of them moved forward quickly and finally reached the end. There was a thick wall in front of them, blocking their way. "It's a dead end." The short old man was surprised. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He observed carefully and found that the wall was unusually thick. Whoosh! He picked up the little white monkey and pinched its face with his fingers. "There's no way out. What should we do?" The snow-white monkey's face was distorted. It grunted in dissatisfaction and jumped into Jiang Riyue's arms. "Wooji wooji." The monkey gestured. "What did it say?" Jiang Riyue asked as she hugged the monkey. "It said it's behind this wall." Lin Xian shrugged. Following that, the 3 of them began to search carefully. The short old man and Lin Xian even began to bombard the wall. However, they didn't dare use too much strength. If the tunnel was destroyed, they would be doomed. Could there be a trap? Lin Xian was puzzled. There aren't any traps. Let's go around it, Lord Alcohol said with a voice transmission. Go around it? Lin Xian was puzzled. You know about earth rats, right? Lord Alcohol didn't elaborate. Lin Xian's mouth twitched as he smiled bitterly. Guys, why don't we dig a hole? In the other two tunnels, everyone was attacked by underground creatures. The tunnel on the left had countless fire lizards, while the one on the right had fire scorpions. After all the calculations, Lin Xian's tunnel was the safest. However, the warriors on both sides charged out of the tunnel after a bloody battle. A vast underground world appeared in front of them. There were magma ravines and jagged rocks. From time to time, heat waves would surge out. In the middle was a gigantic magma that constantly bubbled and emitted scorching heat. And in the middle of the magma was a boulder with a fiery red plant growing on it. On top of it, there was a fist-sized spirit fruit that was emitting a colorful glow. Chapter 222. Everyone's eyes were burning as they stared at the red fruit on the lava. Dragon fruit! A warrior from the Lai family exclaimed as he clenched his fists tightly. Mang Yan's eyes lit up as if he had thought of something. His lips curled into a smile. He carefully stared at the red fruit in the distance. The fruit was oval-shaped with 4 protrusions on its skin, like 4 coiled dragons. It really is the fire dragon fruit. Mang Yan's expression was burning. Zhu Hao was pleasantly surprised. This is a 6th grade spirit fruit. Dragon fruit, a 6th grade spirit fruit. It was an extremely precious spirit fruit, even in Xia country. He did not expect to see it here. Get ready. A warrior from the Lai family shouted in a low voice. In an instant, 3 figures rushed out quickly. Whoosh! 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 The 3 figures had powerful auras as they turned into light and flew out quickly. How dare you! When the martial artists of the other forces saw this, they also sent out their martial artists. Other than the people from the Earthfire sect and Inscription Union, a total of 11 people rushed towards the dragon fruit. The bubbles in the magma churned and gradually boiled. A few warriors at the 5th sky of the spiritual sea realm had their spirit energy defense pierced by the splashing lava. Horrifying wounds appeared on their bodies. After struggling for a while, 3 warriors fell into the lava and screamed. But soon his heart sank. Hiss! Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air as they looked at the fiery red lava with fear. No one below the harmonious spirit realm would be able to escape from such heat. Hopefully they would succeed this time. Many warriors from different forces prayed. Idiot, how is that possible? Zhu Hao said disdainfully, this kind of spirit fruit can't be picked so easily. As if in response to his words, a 5-meter-tall wave suddenly surged from the lava. Like a small waterfall, the fiery red lava exploded in the air. A few more screams sounded as a few warriors fell into the lava. The remaining warriors' faces changed as they activated their spirit energy to the extreme. Roar! A low roar sounded and echoed in the air. A tall figure emerged from the lava, emitting a terrifying demonic aura. A crimson light lit up as if it wanted to tear the air apart. The entire lava formed a dark red energy. Pung pung pung. The remaining martial artists were unable to change their direction in the air and were hit by these energies, falling into the lava one after another. Whoosh! The fiery red figure landed on the rock and looked at everyone with a ferocious expression. The expressions of the warriors on the shore changed again and again, especially the Lai family and the other families that had sent out warriors. They were heartbroken. Those were the elites of the family, yet they lost their lives just like that. What a heavy demonic aura! Mang Yan took a deep breath. Everyone looked at that figure with fear and subconsciously took 2 steps back. It was a 3-meter-tall demonic ape. Its entire body was fiery red, and its skin was like a crystal armor, emitting a dark glow. This aura is probably at the peak of the 5th rank. Deacon Wong sighed. A 5th-rank demonic beast was equivalent to a warrior at the 7th sky of Spirit Sea Realm. A peak 5th-rank demonic beast was close to the harmonious spirit realm. In addition, monstrous beasts were originally stronger than martial artists of the same level. Almost no one here was a match for the monstrous ape. As for the human wave tactic, it was even worse. Ordinary martial artists would not even be able to withstand a single blow from the monster ape. The scene just now was enough to explain this problem. 7 or 8 warriors. Half of them were at the 6th sky of Spirit Sea Realm, yet they could not withstand a single blow from the monster ape. Are we going to give up just like that? Everyone was unwilling. That was a 6th-rank spirit fruit. Since ancient times, the harmonious spirit realm was a hurdle that blocked most of the warriors outside the door. Only a very small number of people were able to surpass it and become a true expert. However, with this kind of 6th-rank spirit fruit, there was a high chance that a warrior could enter the harmonious spirit realm. This was also the reason why everyone went crazy. Moreover, even if they could not enter the harmonious spirit realm, they could still advance by a small realm. No one would give up on such a spirit fruit. For a moment, everyone looked at the Earth Fire sect. It was a 3rd-rank sect, and the leader was the 1st in the hidden dragon ranking, Meng Yan. He should have a way. Feeling everyone's gaze, Meng Yan smiled. Everyone, if we want to get this spirit fruit, we will need everyone to work together. Oh, young Master Meng has a way? Many warriors were delighted. Although this monster ape is ferocious, its intelligence is ordinary and not comparable to humans. We can use a trick to lure it away. Meng Yan said. Just as Meng Yan and the others were discussing, Lin Xian and the other 2 went around the stone door and came in. Be careful, there's lobby ahead. Lin Xian's eyes flashed as he reminded them in a low voice. Let's get out of here, quickly. Jiang Ruiyue felt uncomfortable underground. Wait, let's check the situation first. Lin Xian was very cautious. Purple light flashed in his eyes as if it was going to pierce through the soil. Using his soul force, he sensed everything outside and transmitted it to Jiang Ruiyue and the short old man. It's a dragon fruit, the short old man exclaimed. This is a 6th-rank spirit fruit. Lin Xian's pupils shrunk after hearing this. He naturally knew the magical effect of a 6th-rank spirit fruit. We must get it. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with excitement. You? Jiang Ruiyue curled her lips. That demonic beast can kill you with one slap. Plus, there are so many warriors outside, so we can't go out. We have to hide in the dark. Lin Xian said with a smile. The 2 of you, don't tell me you're thinking about the dragon fruit too? Nonsense. Jiang Ruiyue snorted. No way, you're so rich. You can take out a spirit fruit so casually. Why don't you give it to me? Lin Xian said with a smile. Go to hell. Jiang Ruiyue was furious. It's not too late to say these words after we get it, the short old man said. The 3 of them hid carefully underground. Outside, Meng Yan and the others had already thought of a countermeasure. The group of people used a secret technique to lure the demonic ape away while their real bodies rushed toward the dragon fruit. Old man, help me stop Meng Yan, and I can give you 1/3 of the dragon fruit, Lin Xian said with a smile. The short old man looked at Lin Xian in surprise and said in a low voice, Okay. Find me at the Inscription Alliance. Lin Xian released the little white monkey and was ready to retreat at any time. Meng Yan, the Lai family, and the other forces rushed toward the dragon fruit. Behind them, Hui Yuan's angry voice and the screams of the warriors could be heard. Oh no, that beast has noticed it. The warriors of the Lai family were shocked. Humph! The corners of Mang Yan's mouth curled into a smile. His hand was about to touch the dragon fruit. However, in the next moment, the dragon fruit was gone. Mang Yan's pupils shrank as he stared intently at his surroundings. The other warriors also exclaimed in surprise. Swish! A white figure flashed past at an extremely fast speed. The little white monkey hugged the dragon fruit and made a face at the crowd. Then it disappeared with a whoosh. It's that monkey. Damn it, chase it. Lin Xian! Mang Yan said in a low voice with a murderous aura. Chapter 223. Mang Yan's eyes revealed a sinister, killing intent. As the first on the hidden dragon roll, no one had ever dared to toy with him like this. Moreover, he would not allow this 6th-grade spirit fruit to fall into the hands of others because it was his guarantee to enter the harmonious spirit realm. Bang! A powerful aura exploded from Mang Yan's body, blowing away all the martial artists around him. How terrifying! This is the aura of the 7th level of the Spirit Sea realm. The martial artists from various factions were frightened and involuntarily took a few steps back. At this moment, the fire ape in the distance charged over. Demonic chi filled the sky, pressing down on everyone like a mountain. Lava exploded, forming a pillar of flame that sprayed towards the martial artists nearby. Whoosh! For a moment, everyone dodged quickly. Flames flickered on Mang Yan's body. He punched the rising lava wave and flew towards the bulging ground in the distance. There, he felt the aura of the dragon fruit. Deliver the goods first. Looking at Mang Yan, who was getting closer, the short old man said in a deep voice, All right. Lin Xian was very decisive. With a chop of his hand, he threw 1/3 of the dragon fruit to the short old man. Grabbing the snow-white little monkey, Lin Xian ran out of the passage. The short old man sighed in admiration and put away the dragon fruit. This child is exceptionally talented and decisive. He'll definitely become someone great in the future. Lin Xian's actions surprised the short old man. It was very rare to be able to keep calm in front of such a treasure. His body flashed and appeared on the ground, blocking Mang Yan. Get lost. Mang Yan was exceptionally furious when he saw Lin Xian running away. Great flame steel fist. Mang Yan's fists turned into a glazed color like red agate, glowing with light. That power could shatter an ordinary martial artist at the 7th level of the Spirit Sea realm. However, the short old man was not afraid. He cupped his fists and drew a circle. A green light lit up, and a bright moon appeared in his hand. The gentle light contained a terrifying power. Chi, the great flame steel fist, hit the bright moon. It was as if it hit water, causing ripples. The short old man's palm turned, and the bright moon in his hand shone even brighter. A majestic power surged out and repelled Mang Yan's fist. Humph! Mang Yan snorted coldly and didn't continue fighting. His body transformed into countless flaming lights that flew out in all directions. The short old man smiled and raised his hand. The bright moon in his hand expanded infinitely, filling up the surrounding space. Ding, ding, ding. All the flames were blocked. Mang Yan's body was revealed, and he staggered back a few steps. Don't force me to kill you. Mang Yan's voice was filled with killing intent. Little fellow, be good and stay here with this old man, the short old man said with a smile. At the side, Jiang Rue blinked her big bright eyes and muttered softly. Boom! Another fiery red figure flashed past, quickly heading in the direction Lin Xian had fled. It's a fire ape! Jiang Rue exclaimed. The short old man sighed. He can only depend on himself. Even though he was strong, he wasn't a harmonious spirit realm warrior, and he didn't have the cloning technique, so he couldn't stop the fire ape. Boom, boom, boom. The ground was blasted apart, and scorching lava gushed out. A figure rushed out from the ground and kept changing positions in the air. It's Lin Xian. He's the one who stole the dragon fruit. Swoosh! A group of warriors rushed forward and stared at Lin Xian with fiery eyes. However, no one dared to step forward. The fire ape's eyes were burning with fire, and its flaming big hand mercilessly covered Lin Xian. Swoosh! Lin Xian used the wind thunder step, creating hundreds of shadows to confuse the crowd. Block the passage! Don't let him escape! The Lai family's people shouted. Humph! Deacon Wang snorted, and his aura burst out, blocking the crowd. At the same time, all the warriors of the Inscription Union stood beside Deacon Wang, staring at the Lai family's people with unfriendly eyes. How dare you touch the people of the Inscription Union? Deacon Wang said coldly. Why wouldn't we dare? Zhu Hao, bring some people to stop Lin Xian. Mang Yen shouted. Eldest senior brother, don't worry, we won't let that kid escape. Zhu Hao and the others said quickly. For a moment, Mang Yen was held back by the short old man, and the Lai family's people were shocked by the Inscription Union. However, Lin Xian's crisis did not lessen, and the fire ape alone was enough to put him in danger. Fortunately, he did not need to kill the fire ape, he only needed to escape. Sword Soul Space. The runes in Lin Xian's right eye filled the air, forming a strong suction force, as if to suck the fire ape's soul away. Roar! The fire ape was stunned for a moment, and its body stopped. Lin Xian took the opportunity to escape quickly. When the fire ape came back to its senses, Lin Xian had already escaped into the passage. After a few angry roars, the fire ape fell into madness, but it did not enter the passage. Instead, it attacked the people in the cave. Retreat, it's gone crazy! Countless warriors fled, and the scene was extremely chaotic. After Lin Xian entered the passage, he increased his speed to the extreme, turning into a wind thunder shadow, and moved forward quickly. Swoosh! Swoosh! Suddenly, there was the sound of air breaking behind him, and 3 powerful auras approached quickly. Swoosh! The flame was like a long snake shooting toward Lin Xian. Lin Xian flicked his hand, shooting out a few sword qi, which broke through the air. Chin! The sharp sword qi destroyed everything and dissolved the attack behind him. Lin Xian, you can't escape! Zhu Hao yelled from behind. Huh! Lin Xian suddenly stopped, and the autumn scar sword appeared in his hand. Sword Soul Space. A strange soul attack rushed toward the 3 behind him, causing their minds to go blank for a moment. Wind, thunder, sword wave. He stabbed out, and the sword qi was like a wave, rushing out quickly. Puff! Puff! The 3 screamed, and horrifying sword wounds appeared on their bodies. Shoo! Lin Xian put away his long sword, turned around and left. Zhu Hao and the other 2 did not dare to attack again. At that moment, they felt the danger of death. Obviously, Lin Xian could easily kill them. Looking at Lin Xian's back, the 3 sighed and started to treat the wounds on their bodies. Shoo! Lin Xian escaped from the underground tunnel and came up to the surface. Without stopping, Lin Xian ran toward the mountain in the distance. Half a day later, he came to an uninhabited mountain range and opened up a cave. Wooji wooji! The snow-white monkey jumped out and kept gesturing. Okay, I got it, Lin Xian said. He took out the dragon fruit, split it in half, and gave 1/2 to the snow-white monkey. This was what they had discussed beforehand. The snow-white monkey would steal it, and Lin Xian would be in charge of escaping. When it was done, the 2 would split it equally. The snow-white monkey ate happily, while Lin Xian took out the 1,000-year snow lotus, put it together with the dragon fruit, and gave it to Lord Alcohol. Don't worry, I'll definitely make a pot of ice fire raging flames wine for you. Lord Alcohol laughed. A day later, Lord Alcohol finished refining. The ice-fire raging flames wine was half ice and half fire. It was a mixture of ice and fire, containing a powerful energy. Lin Xian drank a cup, and his face immediately changed. It was as if there was a ball of fire burning in his body, and it was extremely hot. It was as if he had fallen into an ice cave, and it was abnormally cold. 2 colors, green and red, appeared on his body. Chapter 224. The effect of ice and fire was perfectly reflected on his body. 2 completely opposite forces collided in his body. Lin Xian carefully guided this force, constantly changing it. 3 days later, the boulder that blocked the cave suddenly cracked open, and a terrifying wave of spiritual power surged out from inside. The surrounding wind and clouds surged, forming a fierce wind. The momentum was shocking. Lin Xian slowly walked out with a smile on his face. He didn't expect the power of the ice fire blaze wine to be so great, allowing his cultivation to rise from the 4th sky of the spiritual sea realm to the 6th, and his strength had increased by at least 5 times. Now, even if he met Meng Yan, he didn't have to run away. With a powerful sword intent and a strange soul attack, he had the power to fight. It's time to leave. Lin Xian counted the days and realized that the battle of the inscription tower was getting closer. Let's go get Zhao Shui first. His body flashed, and he ran towards Flame City. In Flame City, Lin Xian's appearance caused an invisible storm. Everyone knew that he had a 6th rank spirit fruit. That was something that all spiritual sea realm warriors would go crazy for. Countless pairs of eyes stared at him, and many people were ready to make a move. Lin Xian found Zhao Shui and quickly left Flame City. When the 2 left the city, they realized that someone was secretly following them. Do you want me to deal with them? Zhao Shui asked. She had been comprehending the stone eyeball for the past few days, and her soul power had reached the 2nd seal level. It could be said that her strength had increased by a large margin. They're just clowns. Don't worry about them. Lin Xian shook his head. Half a day later, the people behind them caught up. There were a total of 3 people, all dressed in black and wearing masks. One of them had a powerful aura, reaching the 7th sky of the spiritual sea realm. Zhao Shui's expression was solemn. With such a lineup, even with her 2nd seal soul power, it was difficult to deal with. Who knew that Lin Xian didn't have any intention of letting her fight? He slowly walked out and said in a deep voice, I'll give you a chance. Get lost. Or die. Kid, don't think that just because you're from the Inscription League, we won't dare to touch you. In this wilderness, even if you die, no one will suspect us brothers. Of all things you shouldn't have possessed a sacred item like the dragon fruit. The 3 masked martial artists laughed sinisterly. Noisy! Lin Xian's face turned cold, and his right fist suddenly blasted out. You're courting death. A black-clothed martial artist at the 6th sky of the spiritual ocean realm sneered, and the long saber in his hand suddenly slashed out. The saber light soared into the sky like a waterfall, bringing with it a gust of wind. Lin Xian's face was expressionless. Red copper lightning patterns appeared on his arm, and complex runes covered his entire fist. Crack! When the fist collided with the saber light, the ferocious fist directly shattered the resplendent saber light. Furthermore, the fist continued to charge towards the black-clothed cultivator. Crack! Bang! Under everyone's gaze, the black-clothed martial artist's long saber broke into 2 halves, followed by his protective shield, and then his ribs. Puff! Thunder and lightning surged with terrifying force. The body of the black-clothed martial artist at the 6th layer of the spiritual ocean realm turned into a pile of rotten meat, falling onto the ground. Hiss! The remaining 2 black-clothed martial artists gasped and looked at Lin Xian with a terrified expression. That was a martial artist at the 6th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. He was actually killed by a single punch. Zhao Shui covered her mouth, and her beautiful eyes were filled with disbelief. At the same time, she felt a deep sense of defeat in her heart. She originally thought that with the increase of her soul power, the gap between her and Lin Xian would shrink a lot. Who knew that the gap between the two was getting bigger and bigger? Lin Xian's cultivation not only reached the 6th layer of the spiritual ocean realm, but his strength was even more horrifying. To be able to shatter a martial artist at the 6th layer of the spiritual ocean realm with a single punch, even a martial artist at the beginning stage of the 7th layer might not be able to do so. Let's go together. He must have used some secret technique to increase his strength. The martial artist at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm roared. The two quickly charged towards Lin Xian and simultaneously launched a resplendent attack. Dang! Lin Xian pulled out the Autumn Scar sword, and with a sword-drawing technique, he killed the martial artist at the 6th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. Wind Emperor's sword. Sword intent surged, and Lin Xian stabbed out. Puff! The martial artist at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm's pupils dilated, and his face was still filled with disbelief. A sword hole appeared in between his eyebrows, and blood and brain matter kept gushing out. Boom! The martial artist fell to the ground. Zhao Shui stared blankly at Lin Xian and felt like she was dreaming. That was a martial artist at the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean realm. How could he be as weak as a chicken? Lin Xian sheathed his long sword, and the sword intent on his body disappeared, and even his spiritual power disappeared. The Wind Emperor's sword was already at 50%. He was very satisfied with the sword just now. Let's go. Lin Xian turned around and revealed a harmless smile. Oh, Zhao Shui nodded subconsciously and followed with a numb body. In the following days, martial artists kept coming to find them, and Lin Xian easily dealt with them. At night, the moon shone brightly. Lin Xian started a fire and roasted 2 wild boars. Zhao Shui rested her chin on her hands and looked at the fire in a daze. Suddenly, she frowned and looked at Lin Xian. Just sit. Lin Xian's voice was calm. He added some charcoal to the fire and looked into the distance. There a tyrannical aura was rapidly approaching. Lin Xian stood up and waited quietly. Whoosh! A figure landed and the ground was smashed. Terrifying cracks spread in all directions, and it was accompanied by a scorching heat. It's not Meng Yan. Lin Xian's voice had a hint of disappointment. Who do you think you are to make Senior Meng attack? The person was disdainful. I'm Han Zhen, and I'm here to take your life. With that, the young man pulled out the long spear on his back and then put it together. Suddenly, a fierce aura rose from his body. Spear force. Zhao Shui was shocked. At least you have a good eye. Han Zhen smiled proudly. This is great success spear force, and it's not weak even in terms of artistic conception. Lin Xian was slightly interested. It seemed that 3-star sects were indeed extraordinary. Any random person from them was a peak existence in the younger generation. Interesting. I hope you won't disappoint me. Lin Xian pulled out his long sword. Like a divine sword being unsheathed, a fierce aura spread from his body. Ding ding. Clang. The great dragon's sword intent went against the great success spear force. The two invisible forces collided in the void, and it was like thunder, creating terrifying ripples. Zhao Shui was a little worried. It was the first time she saw someone who could resist Lin Xian's sword intent. Moreover, the other party's cultivation was in the 7th sky of the spiritual sea realm, and he firmly suppressed Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian did not seem to be afraid. Whoosh! Han Zhen took the initiative to attack. The long spear shook, and like a dragon emerging from the sea, it stabbed out fiercely. The air seemed to be torn apart, and the ground shattered, and a terrifying crack appeared. This spear was extremely fierce. Wind thunder pierce. Lin Xian also stabbed out with his sword. Sword intent surged, and a sword chi that was dozens of meters long crashed down, hitting on the long spear. The two forces collided and the air shook. The energy surged in all directions like water ripples. Chapter 225. Crack! Crack! Zhao Shue's body floated away like duckweed. Fire kill! Han Zhen twisted a spear, and a ball of dark red flame appeared on the tip of the spear. Although the flame was small, the energy it contained was shocking. Once it appeared, the entire space trembled. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. As a rune master, his soul power was outstanding. Naturally, he could feel the terror of that ball of flame. Break! His spear surged and formed a terrifying flame attack. Using the wind thunder step, Lin Xian's body disappeared. He did not choose to take it head-on. It was not that he was afraid. Sometimes retreating was a better way to attack. The sword light flashed, and a dragon's roar was heard. The sharp blade pierced through the dark red flame and created a shocking amount of sparks. Wind Emperor's sword. As the sword pierced out, Lin Xian's sword technique changed greatly and became erratic, like an antelope hanging its horn or a meteor falling from the sky. This sword completely blended into the wind and disappeared without a trace. What? Han Zhen's face changed, other than when he fought with Meng Yan. This was the first time he felt danger from someone of the same generation. He could not even see Lin Xian's sword clearly, let alone block it. This guy is so young, but his sword technique is so good. Han Zhen's face darkened. He withdrew his spear and waved it around, forming a fiery wind as he carefully defended. Swoosh! There was a slight fluctuation in the air. A dazzling sword chi flew out and went straight for Han Zhen's vitals. The sword chi went through his defense and was about to hit his body. How is this possible? Han Zhen's face changed again. He did not believe that Lin Xian could go through his defense. However, the truth was right in front of him. Fire spirit armor. Han Zhen roared. His body glowed red, as if flames were flying out. On the surface of his body, a fiery red spiritual armor quickly formed, making him look like a fire god. Clank! The autumn scar sword hit the flame armor, and a metallic sound rang out. The great dragon sword was extremely sharp. The sword light imprinted on Han Zhen's face and made his body tremble. The flame armor shone brightly, but a small crack was still cut open. For Lin Xian, this was enough. The great dragon sword surged and quickly seeped into the armor. The fierce aura began to destroy the flaming spirit armor. Get lost! Han Zhen's heart trembled. The spiritual energy in his body surged, forming a binding force. He wanted to trap Lin Xian's long sword. At the same time, he swung his fist and punched out. His fists, which were as big as sandbags, had a magma-like color. They were like red-hot iron blocks that carried a terrifying temperature. This punch came from the bottom, heading straight for Lin Xian's head. If he was hit, he would die immediately. However, Lin Xian obviously wouldn't sit still and wait for death. When Han Zhen moved, he had already made his move. The copper lightning mark appeared on Xiao Chen's arm. Berserk lightning energy leaped about like thunder from the 9 heavens, exploding loudly. Lightning flashed and struck the fiery fist, creating a sound like a flash flood. In the distance, Zhao Shui frowned and retreated again. A moment later, the ground where she was originally standing exploded with a loud bang, and everything was charred black. After the explosion, Han Zhen's blood boiled. The pain caused his face to turn pale. His arm was numb, and he had lost all feeling. Impossible! You're a swordsman. How can your body be so strong? Han Zhen screamed. He was really stunned. From what he knew, a swordsman's attack power was strong, far surpassing that of his peers. But, correspondingly, their defensive system was very weak. Many swordsmen wore high-grade armor to make up for this weakness. Han Zhen knew this, so he didn't attack Lin Xian's heart or other parts of his body. However, Lin Xian directly competed with him in terms of physical strength and far surpassed him. After a successful attack, Lin Xian's long sword stabbed again. The great dragon's sword will attack again. Lin Xian seemed to have a dragon head behind him. Poof! A thumb-sized hole was cut open on the flaming spirit armor, and blood spurted out. Whoosh! Han Zhen endured the pain in his body and quickly retreated. He didn't dare to get close to Lin Xian and could only stay far away. You dare to hurt me? I'll kill you. Han Zhen's eyes burned with anger. Even when he fought with Meng Yan, he had never suffered such an injury. The spiritual energy in his body circulated wildly, and the flames on his body emitted a 3-foot-long light. Humph! Lin Xian snorted. Bang! Poof! A low rumble came from Han Zhen's body like beans being fried. Then he spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was as pale as paper, and fine beads of sweat covered his body. You! Han Zhen half knelt on the ground, panting. Just now, the remaining golden arc in his body exploded, causing him internal injuries. Now, the spiritual energy in his body was chaotic, and he couldn't even use half of his strength. You're strong, but it won't be so easy next time. Han Zhen swallowed a few life-saving pills and said fiercely, You think I'll let you go? Lin Xian laughed in anger. This guy wanted to kill him first, and now he dared to say such words after losing. You dare to kill me? I'm a core disciple of the Earthfire sect. Han Zhen screamed. He never thought that someone would dare to touch someone from the Earthfire sect. Humph, I won't kill you, but I'll teach you a lesson. Lin Xian said coldly. This isn't a free dojo, and I'm not your sparring partner. I'll give you a choice. Leave behind your storage ring or your hand. Feeling Lin Xian's cold gaze, Han Zhen was really afraid. He didn't doubt that Lin Xian would dare to kill him. However, he was unwilling to hand over his storage ring. All of his belongings were in there. 3, 2, 1. Lin Xian counted in a low voice as he slowly raised the long sword in his hand. Storage ring! Han Zhen screamed. He took off the dark red ring, threw it on the ground, and quickly ran away. Sucking the storage ring into his hand, Lin Xian probed it with his soul power, and a trace of joy appeared on his face. As expected of a 3-star sect, their wealth was abundant. There were nearly 1 million low-grade spirit stones, several top-grade mystic class martial arts, and a low-grade spiritual class martial arts. Among them, there were 3 high-grade human class artifacts and 1 low-grade mystic class artifact. This was almost all of Lin Xian's wealth before he entered the underground world. I really hope that people like this come a few more times, Lin Xian said lightly. Zhao Shui walked over and rolled her eyes at him. For you. Lin Xian threw a short sword to Zhao Shui. Low-grade mystic class artifact. Zhao Shui exclaimed, her face full of surprise. Everyone has a share. Lin Xian shrugged. He was now very rich, so he didn't care about a low-grade mystic class artifact. The foot-long short sword was dark red in color. Under the moonlight, it glowed like a bloodthirsty eye. Thank you. Zhao Shui suddenly approached and kissed Lin Xian on the cheek. Chapter 226. Like a dragonfly skimming the surface of the water, she retreated quickly. Lin Xian was stunned. He touched his cheek, then laughed bitterly. Inexplicably, a beautiful face suddenly appeared in his heart, like a fairy. Sky Martial Region. Lin Xian said in a low voice. The night was silent. The next day, the two set off again, advancing at top speed. 3 days later, they finally arrived at Dragon Cliff City. Dragon Cliff City was more prosperous than Flame City. Those who came and went were powerhouses. Where are you going? Lin Xian asked. Zhao Shui looked at Lin Xian and smiled sweetly. Lin Gongzi, thank you for escorting me all the way. This little girl can't thank you enough. If fate wills it, we'll meet again. Finished speaking, Zhao Shui's eyes revealed a trace of determination and left quickly. Watching Zhao Shui leave, Lin Xian walked towards the center of the city. There was a 1,000 treasure tower branch there. Finding the 1,000 treasure tower, he walked in and stated his purpose. Lin Xian, you're here. Vivian ran out with a smile. The competition is about to start. I thought you weren't coming. Vivian complained. Why would I? Lin Xian smiled. Something happened on the way and delayed some time. Ah, you became a second-grade inscriber. Vivian looked at the 2 golden patterns on Lin Xian's chest, her expression full of surprise. Even Elder Gu, who sensed it, had a look of shock. He knew the difficulty of the second-grade inscriber examination. It was good to have 20%. Young friend Lin's talent is exceptional. Looks like we have hope this time, Elder Gu said with a smile. Come in quickly. Vivian pulled Lin Xian in. On this day, the 1,000 treasure tower was incomparably lively. Many elders had smiles on their faces. Some disciples who did not know the situation asked one after another. Only then did they know that a youth called Lin Xian had arrived. Lin Xian? What's so great about him? Immediately, many disciples were disdainful in their hearts. Before long, the entire 1,000 treasure tower knew that a genius youth had arrived today. Everyone, Elder Gu invites you in. An attendant came to report. Perfect. I want to see what kind of monster this Lin Xian is. He definitely can't compare to Senior Martial Brother Liu. Not to mention Senior Brother Liu. I think even Senior Brother Ding can't compare with him. After the time it takes for an incense stick to burn, everyone arrived at the backyard. Look, it's Senior Brother Ding. It is said that Senior Brother Ding has reached the peak of One Seal Soul power. I wonder if it is true? It must be true. Look at that aura, that pressure. It's definitely not fake. Look, Senior Brother Liu is here. Another group of people exclaimed. Even Senior Brother Ding looked at the entrance with a solemn face. Senior Brother Liu is already here. Why isn't that Lin Xian here yet? That's right. How arrogant. Many of Senior Brother Liu's supporters said coldly, Elder Gu is here. It was unknown who shouted. Suddenly, the entire courtyard quieted down. Everyone looked at the entrance. They saw an old man in a white robe walk in with a smile. Behind him was a beautiful woman and a handsome young man. Everyone's gaze turned to the delicate and pretty young man. They had never seen this young man before. He must be that Lin Xian. Many people had a cold expression and were ready to mock him. However, when they saw the 2 golden lines on Lin Xian's chest, they suddenly froze in place. Even Senior Brother Ding looked surprised, and Senior Brother Liu frowned slightly. Second-grade inscription master. Many people's voices were trembling. Almost no one dared to look at Lin Xian with dissatisfaction. That was a second-grade inscription master. In their hearts, only Senior Brother Liu could compare to him. Haha, everyone is here. Elder Gu smiled and said, This is our young friend Lin Xian. With his participation, our chances of winning this time will increase by quite a bit. Lin Xian smiled and greeted the others. Then, he stood behind Elder Gu and said no more. Next, Elder Gu explained the situation of the Battle of Inscriptions. Everyone listened carefully. Lin Xian also pricked up his ears. He found out that these people were only disciples of the Thousand Treasures Tower. Moreover, not everyone could participate. Including Lin Xian, there were only 5 people in total. Other than that, there were several other forces in Xia country that would send disciples. One of them was the Inscription Alliance. Although the Inscription Alliance was a large regional organization, there was competition between the sub-leagues of various countries. Therefore, they were indispensable in this battle. Other than the Inscription Alliance, there was also the Ouyang family. This was an ancient family that was somewhat famous in Xia country's inscription world. 3 days later, the 3 forces of Xia country would gather in Dragon Cliff City and head to Green Water Valley together. There, they would compete with the inscription masters of Shadow Country and Rain Country to determine the quota to enter the inscription tower. After an hour, everyone dispersed and began to prepare carefully. 3 days later, the Thousand Treasures Tower attracted the other 2 forces. Lin Xian recognized the people of the Inscription Alliance. The leaders were Elder Song and Deacon Meng. Among the disciples, Lin Xian saw Huang Shanshan and Zhou Yong. On the other side was the Ouyang family. The leader was an old man with a dragon-headed walking stick. Behind him stood 6 or 7 young men. One of them had an unusually strong soul power. The aura that occasionally leaked out was frightening. Lin Xian was slightly surprised. Judging from the strength of the soul power, the young man's soul power seemed to be stronger than his. There are indeed many experts. Lin Xian had a hint of excitement in his heart. The people of the Ouyang family and the Inscription Alliance were also secretly observing Lin Xian and the others. After many people saw Lin Xian, they were surprised. This was because such a young second-grade inscription master had never appeared before. There were a total of 15 inscription masters in Xia country. They could be said to be elites. Among the 15, Lin Xian, Huang Shanshan, Lu Qing, and Ouyang Chengming were all second-grade inscription masters with strong soul power. The other 11 were first-grade inscription masters. Among them, Zhou Yong and Ding Zhe were at the peak of the first-grade inscription masters. At this point, all the inscription masters of Xia country were present. Elder Song, Elder Gu, and Elder Ouyang would be leading the team for the competition this time around. Everyone reorganized themselves and headed towards the Green Water Valley. 3 huge blue, striped birds landed in the courtyard. Each of them was more than 10 meters long. When they flapped their wings, they formed a small gust of wind. Lin Xian and the others sat on them and quickly left. The 3 old men sat on 3 sides. They were all harmonious spirit experts and could easily create a strong protective shield. Without the interference of the gust of wind, Lin Xian closed his eyes and began to comprehend the inscription copied from the stone eyeball. The competition this time would definitely be a gathering of experts. He didn't want to make a fool of himself in the competition. After Elder Gu's explanation, Lin Xian knew that the competition this time was very simple. It was a martial arts competition. Compared to ordinary martial arts competitions, the competition between inscription masters was more dangerous because one could be injured at any time. And this kind of injury had a huge impact on the cultivator. As for the reward, it was naturally to enter the inscription tower. The top 3 of the competition would enter the inscription tower to comprehend the inscription. Chapter 227. A day later, a dark green valley appeared below. "We're here." Elder Gu's voice had a hint of seriousness. Many disciples on the blue striped birds opened their eyes and looked down at the valley below. Lin Xian also lowered his head and looked down. The valley was surrounded by green trees, green mountains, and clear water, just like a paradise on earth. "Is the inscription tower here?" Many disciples were excited. Elder Song's eyes flashed. It said that this inscription tower was left behind by a Grand Master of Inscription. You must seize this opportunity. Grand Master of Inscription. Lin Xian was surprised. To be able to be called a grandmaster, he must be a great figure. The 3 blue striped birds slowly descended and landed in the valley. Everyone jumped off the birds and looked around. In the middle of the valley there was a huge array platform, exuding a vicissitude aura. On the other 3 sides of the array platform, there were some stone stands for people to rest and watch. The Battle of the Inscription Tower has a history of over 100 years, so the facilities here are more complete, Elder Gu explained. Once every 10 years, this should be the 10th time. Let's go and rest first. The group walked towards the stands on the east side. Half a day later, the people of Rain Country arrived. The 2 sides greeted each other and then took their seats. It's said that a genius of inscription has appeared in Rain Country. You must be careful when the time comes, Elder Gu said. Genius of inscription. Everyone was slightly stunned. To be valued so highly by the elder, he must not be an ordinary person. For some reason, many people looked at Lin Xian. In their eyes, Lin Xian was also a genius of inscription. After all, such a young second-grade inscription master was rare. Just as they were discussing, a group of people arrived. It's Shadow Country. Elder Gu's voice was serious. Rain Country strength was about the same as theirs, but this Shadow Country far surpassed them. And the champion of the competition was always Shadow Country. A group of people slowly descended from the huge flying ship. Lin Xian looked over with interest. Most of the people of Shadow Country had arrogant looks, not taking Summer Country and Shadow Country seriously at all. However, they did have the qualifications to be arrogant. Lin Xian could sense that their soul force was extremely powerful, and among them, there were 2 whose auras made him feel apprehensive. One of them was dressed in purple, and even his hair was purple. The presence on his body had reached the 7th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, and his eyes even made Lin Xian apprehensive. Purple light flashed, as if there was a formless suction force that wanted to suck away everyone's minds. Purple Extreme Devil Palace. Lin Xian's heart sank. The other person was dressed in a black robe, and his entire body was hidden in the darkness. Although the aura on his body was ordinary, the occasional fluctuations that leaked out made Lin Xian frown. The 2 countries came quite early. The leader of the Shadow Country was a purple-robed old man. Since everyone is here, let's begin. The disciples of the Shadow Country all walked towards the north side of the stands, while the purple-robed old man swept to the center of the platform. This old man will first explain the rules. The competition will be divided into 3 groups for an elimination round. The top 3 of each group will enter the finals. The purple-robed old man slowly said, "The top 3 of the finals will obtain the qualifications to enter the Inscription Tower, and the first place will obtain a spirit-gathering pill. This spirit-gathering pill is refined by the Inscription Alliance. It can condense a warrior's soul and increase the degree of soul condensation. It can also increase the chances of breaking through to the 3rd seal of soul force." Elder Song took a deep breath. There's actually a spirit-gathering pill. It looks like this competition will be much more intense. The Inscription Alliance was a colossus in the entire Tianan region, and the 3 countries of Xia Country were only a few countries in the Tianan region. To a certain extent, they all belonged to the Inscription Alliance. When the young inscription masters heard about the spirit-gathering pill, they immediately exclaimed. Everyone looked excited, wishing that they could immediately begin the competition. "Shout, Schwanzi, this is good stuff," Lord Alcohol said with a voice transmission. Lin Xian's eyes flashed. Originally, he only wanted to enter the Inscription Tower, but now it looked like he had to get first place. He really needed to increase his strength now. The spirit-gathering pill was too tempting for him. With the spirit-gathering pill, his soul force would increase again. At that time, his chances of defeating Lin Feng would be much higher. On Xia Country's side, Ouyang Changming had a confident smile on his face, but his hands were clenched tightly in his sleeves. In the distance, the purple-haired youth from the Purple Extreme Demon Palace had an evil smile on his face, as if the spirit-gathering pill had become his private property. On Rain Country's side, an ethereal young girl sat with a smile, her beautiful eyes shining. The center of the arena glowed, forming 3 independent arenas. Each arena was 100 meters wide, enough for Sea of Soul Realm warriors to compete. Lin Xian and Vivian were assigned to the first group. The 2 of them walked near the first arena, waiting for the competition. Dozens of people gathered near the first arena. All of them had powerful auras and powerful souls. Their strength was equivalent to warriors in the top 30 of the Hidden Dragon ranking. Among them, Lin Xian was most afraid of the black-robed warrior from the Shadow Country. Through his understanding, he knew that the black-robed man belonged to the Dark Shadow Palace, a very mysterious sect. Aside from the black-robed man, there were several second-tier inscribers near the first arena, and their cultivation level was above the 6th layer of spiritual ocean tier. The other 2 arenas were also full of people. The most eye-catching one in the second arena was the purple-haired youth from the Purple Extreme Demon Palace, while the third arena was occupied by the ethereal young girl. The center of the arena glowed brightly, and the multicolored light soared into the sky. This meant that the competition was about to begin. Lin Xian retracted his gaze and returned it to the first arena. The 2 youths called by the referee walked onto the arena. The black arena emitted 2 rays of light that fell on the 2 youths. Lin Xian knew that this was to test whether the 2 youths were inscribers. If they weren't, then they would be rejected by the black arena, and the corresponding result would be elimination. However, the 3 countries and 9 forces obviously knew this rule, so the disciples who came to compete this time were all inscribers. One of the youths on the arena was actually the black-robed youth from the Dark Shadow Palace, and his opponent was a youth from the Rain Country. As soon as the match began, the black-robed youth drew a black rune with both hands. Like a black scythe, it sent his opponent flying with 1 strike. The surrounding martial artists instantly cried out in surprise. They didn't even see what the black rune was before the match ended. Several second-tier inscribers looked at the black-robed martial artist with serious expressions. Before this, they didn't take this person seriously. Lin Xian's eyes flashed and he was surprised. He sensed a dangerous soul fluctuation from the black rune. The match progressed quickly and was very exciting. Many of the moves opened Lin Xian's eyes. At this moment, the referee called out Lin Xian's name. "Lin Xian, you can do it!" Vivian waved her small fists at the side. With a faint smile, Lin Xian's body flashed and he arrived on the arena. Opposite him, a white-robed youth stood proudly with 2 golden patterns embroidered on his chest. Second-tier inscriber. Lin Xian's eyes became serious. Chapter 228. The moment the arrogant young man stepped onto the stage, a group of people cheered. Even the martial artists from the other 2 arenas looked over. After all, second-grade inscriptionists were already the top existences here. Sigh, encountering a second-grade inscriptionist, that kid is really unlucky. That's our eldest senior brother, He and Kai. Not only is his soul power outstanding, his strength has reached the 7th level of the Spirit Sea Realm. Dealing with a kid at the 6th level of the Spirit Sea Realm is a piece of cake. At this time, Lin Xian had already taken off his second-grade inscriptionist's silver robe, so these people did not know of Lin Xian's strength. There was also a trace of worry in Vivian's eyes. The other party's cultivation was only stronger than Lin Xian's. He Inkai, the outstanding youth of Shadow Country's Inscription Palace. His soul power and cultivation were top existences. Lin Xian's first opponent was actually so terrifying. The inscriptionists of Xia country did not look too good. Elder Gu and Elder Song also frowned. Although Lin Xian was valiant, his opponent was even more valiant. Comparing the two, Lin Xian seemed to be at a disadvantage. Elder Song, I'm afraid you're going to lose this round. A loud laugh came from the side. Everyone turned their heads, their faces abnormally ugly. Not far from them were the inscriptionists of Shadow Country. One of the old men had a smug look on his face. He was He Inksai's master. Old man, the competition hasn't started yet. It's too early to say who will win. Elder Song said with a sullen face. Too early? It's not early. Such an obvious gap. Even a blind person can see it. Elder, he laughed loudly. The Inscription Palace where Old Man he was at was actually a branch of the Inscription Alliance. However, he and Elder Song were from two different countries and were naturally in a competitive relationship. Now that he could get rid of his old rival, he naturally felt comfortable. Is that so? Elder Song said in a deep voice. Lin Xian is also a second-grade inscriptionist. It's not certain who will win. Elder, he was slightly surprised. The people of Shadow Country's Inscription Palace were also surprised. Impossible. He's obviously a youth. How can he be a second-grade inscriptionist? The people of Inscription Palace obviously did not believe it. Old Song, a loss is a loss. Why must you make such a joke? Elder, he sneered. Everyone from Xia Country felt aggrieved. These guys from Shadow Country were too arrogant. Their tails were raised to the sky. I believe that Lin Xian will definitely win, Huang Shanshan said softly. Everyone looked at arena number 1 with a glimmer of hope in their hearts. On the first arena, Lin Xian and He Yingkai were already fighting. The two of them were moving quickly in the arena. After images flashed on the black arena, accompanied by wind, thunder, lightning, and surging spiritual energy. So fast! Many martial artists could not keep up with the speed of their eyes and could only use their soul power. They feared He Yingkai from the bottom of their hearts, but Lin Xian's performance had exceeded their expectations. His speed was not at all inferior to He Yingkai's. He Yingkai's expression was cold and arrogant as he attacked mercilessly. He was the number 1 disciple of the Inscription Palace. Naturally, he did not place Lin Xian in his eyes. His soul power spread out, and he clearly captured the trajectory of Lin Xian's movements. A sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. He Yingkai waved his palm at the back, left, like lightning. The surging spiritual energy surged, and the air whistled. This palm was like a tsunami, powerful to the extreme. Within a 10-meter radius, everything was shrouded by the wind from his palm. Whoosh! A figure appeared. It was Lin Xian. He appeared. Haha, he finally appeared. Senior brother, he is mighty. Finish him in one move. The disciples of the Inscription Palace shouted. In their view, Lin Xian, who appeared, was a human target. He would definitely not be able to escape from He Yingkai's palm. Haha, Old Song, you've lost. Elder, he laughed arrogantly. Elder Song and the others' faces were gloomy. The inscriptionists of Xia Country were silent. Not good. Near arena number 1, Vivian's face also changed. Lose for me. He Yingkai sneered, and his palm struck out like a tsunami. The violent spiritual energy hit Lin Xian. Boom! An earth-shattering tremor spread in all directions from arena number 1. At this moment, all the cultivators in the valley were looking at ring number 1 with shock on their faces. Elder Song and the others' hearts sank. They didn't think that Lin Xian would be able to withstand such a blow. Prepare the elixir to rescue him. Lin Xian has unlimited potential. We can't leave any hidden injuries. Elder Song began to deploy. Crack! In the huge spiritual energy vortex, the power of lightning suddenly flashed and brandished its claws in the air. Everyone looked over in shock, waiting for the moment the result would be revealed. The spiritual energy vortex dissipated, and arena number 1 regained its clarity. 2 figures appeared in the arena. He ink-sized palm was firmly imprinted on Lin Xian's chest. On the other hand, Lin Xian's entire body was suffused with the glow of lightning. Numerous complicated lightning runes appeared on the surface of his body, and they were filled with a violent energy. "This is your attack," Lin Xian said lightly. Too weak. He ink-sized pupils constricted and fear welled up in his heart. Impossible. How could he block senior brother his attack? The Inscription Palace's warriors cried out loudly while the others were in an uproar. Too shocking. Too unexpected. A martial artist at the 6th level of the spiritual sea realm actually took a blow from a martial artist at the 7th level of the spiritual sea realm head-on and was completely fine. This, on the grandstand, Elder He's face was solemn and his eyes were filled with shock. Not only him, but even Elder Song and Elder Gu were shocked. Those inscriptionists of Great Xia were even more stunned. They did not dare to believe such means. "Old man," things seem to be different from what you predicted. Elder Song struck a blow. Elder He's face darkened as he cursed in his heart. He actually misjudged. How many years had it been since something like this happened? You're actually fine?" On the stage, He Ink-Sai's voice trembled. "You should worry about yourself." Lin Xian's eyes turned cold, and his right hand was like an iron clamp, firmly grabbing onto He Ink-Sai's arm. With a slight force, Lin Xian lifted He Ink-Kai up and smashed him onto the ground. "Not good." "You dare!" The martial artists of the Inscription Palace exclaimed and were abnormally worried. "Let go." He Ink-Kai was enraged. His entire body's spiritual power surged, forming a terrifying spiritual power storm. However, in front of Lin Xian's copper thunder pattern, everything was useless. Soul interference. At the last moment, He Ink-Kai used his soul power. His rich soul power surged towards Lin Xian. As long as Lin Xian's soul was attacked, he could immediately counterattack. Pum! Lin Xian was not afraid. His soul power surged out and clashed with He Ink-Sai's soul power. In the next moment, Lin Xian successfully blocked He Ink-Sai's soul power, while He Ink-Kai crashed heavily onto the ground. The black ground was abnormally hard and did not shatter. However, his huge impact caused the entire stage to shake as if an earthquake happened. Pooh! The protective spiritual power armor on He Ink-Sai's body shattered. His face was abnormally pale and blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. Chapter 229. Lin Xian's attack caused He Ink-Kai to suffer internal injuries. Falling to the ground, He Ink-Sai's mind was in a daze. The spiritual sea in his body was in chaos. He was puzzled by the scene just now. He had clearly used a soul attack, but the other party was not affected at all. Furthermore, he could feel a strong soul power resisting him. Is he also a second-grade inscription master? He Ink-Kai suddenly had such a thought in his mind. However, he quickly ruled it out. Such a young second-grade inscription master had never appeared in the history of the Shadow Country, let alone the backward Xia country. He rolled and quickly fled to the back. However, Lin Xian did not give him a chance to escape. His palm shot out like lightning and he once again grabbed He Ink-Kai. What? Everyone was stunned. Shameless. Let go of the eldest senior brother. Despicable. The people of the Inscription Palace cursed loudly. Their eyes were burning with anger. However, the martial artists of Xia country were extremely excited. Many of them could not help but shout. Before the start of the competition, they had been ridiculed by the people of the Shadow Country. Now that they had the chance, they naturally wanted to return the favor. Kid, you've angered me. He Ink-Kai was an elite of the Inscription Palace. He had never suffered such humiliation before. Moreover, His opponent was a youth who was inferior to him in all aspects. His soul force violently tumbled and a terrifying aura filled the air. Soul shock! A sharp voice rang out, followed by a terrifying soul force. At this moment, the martial artists near the first arena trembled. They felt a tremor from their souls. It felt as if their souls would be extinguished at any time. Great! It's senior brother, he's soul's secret skill. That kid is dead for sure. No one can escape senior brother. He's soul shock. The disciples of the inscription palace revealed a victorious expression. In the stands, Elder, he also breathed a sigh of relief. I didn't expect him to use his ultimate move so quickly. To be defeated by this move, you people of Xia country should be proud. Elder, his words shocked Elder Song and the others. They naturally knew the power of the soul shock secret skill. Anyone who was hit by it would have their soul severely damaged. In serious cases, it could lead to immediate death. Damn it! Nothing can happen to Lin Xian. Elder Gu clenched his fists. Die! He Yingxai's eyes flashed with a vicious light. Lin Xian's actions made him want to kill him. Slash! Feeling the pressure on his soul, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Runes flashed in his left eye, and the soul sword quickly slashed out. Chi! He Yingxai's soul attack was cut into two like a piece of cloth. Ah! A blood-curdling scream rang out. He Yingxai clutched his head and screamed as blood flowed out of his 7 orifices. Bang! Lin Xian kicked him out of the field. Silence, absolute silence. The cultivators near stage 1 were all stunned, not daring to believe the reality in front of them. That was soul shock. How could it be broken so easily? Senior apprentice brother he. The people of Inscription Palace regained their senses and quickly ran towards He Yingxai. Whoosh! A figure quickly appeared beside He Yingxai. This was an old man, Elder He of the Inscription Palace. His soul reached out and circled around He Yingxai's body. His face immediately turned gloomy. Humph, this old man has misjudged you. Elder He looked at Lin Xian coldly, feeling the pressure of a harmonious spirit expert. Lin Xian's face turned slightly pale. The dragon pattern in his body shone brightly, and the great dragon sword intent roared in his body. Suddenly, Lin Xian felt a surge of energy filling his body, and the pressure of a harmonious spirit expert gradually disappeared. Elder He, please mind the rules. The judge of stage 1 walked over with a warning tone. Elder, he glared at Lin Xian with hatred, and then quickly brought He Yingxai back to the spectator stand to treat his injuries. Elder Song, very good, very good. Elder, he looked at the great Xia's side and said coldly, Thank you for letting me win. Elder Song and the others were not afraid of Elder He. However, they were shocked from the bottom of their hearts. Lin Xian's attack was too shocking. The winner is Lin Xian. The judge said loudly, Hua! The disciples of Great Xia cheered and shouted, while the disciples of the other 2 countries were stunned. Especially the disciples of the Shadow Country. Their faces were gloomy. They could not accept this result. Lin Xian, he. The black-robed youth from the Dark Shadow Palace let out a low laugh. I hope you won't disappoint me. This voice made some of the nearby disciples feel a chill in their hearts. Many of them quietly moved away from the black-robed youth. They had seen the black-robed youth's strength, and the disciples of the Dark Shadow Palace knew how powerful he was. Many of the Shadow Country's disciples looked at Lin Xian with hatred. As long as the black-robed youth attacked, Lin Xian would lose without a doubt. Lin Xian, be careful, Vivian said with a worried face. Obviously, she felt the unusual atmosphere nearby. I'm fine. Be careful. If you can't do it, you can give up, Lin Xian whispered. The wound on the soul is hard to heal. You must think carefully. Vivian nodded. She knew how powerful it was. As expected in the later rounds of the competition, the people of the Inscription Palace began to specifically target Vivian. However, Vivian's strength had reached the 6th layer of the spiritual ocean tier, and her soul power had reached the peak of a first-grade inscription master. In the vicinity of the first stage, aside from a few second-grade inscriptionists, there were really not many who were her match. The competition continued. A few second-grade inscriptionists stepped onto the stage one by one and easily defeated their opponents. Gradually, the division of strength between each side appeared. The first tier was Lin Xian, the black-robed youth, and a few other second-grade inscriptionists. These people all subdued their opponents within a few moves. However, the following matches refreshed everyone's understanding of the black-robed youth. In the second round, the black-robed youth, Wu Ying, stepped onto the stage again. His opponent was the second-grade inscription master of Rain Country, Zhongyu. The black-robed youth's hands moved, forming a black symbol in front of him that contained a terrifying energy. His opponent, Zhongyu, was holding a circular weapon that was covered with sharp gears. With a wave of his hand, the circular metal gear flew out like lightning. On top of it, there were dozens of tiny blades flying out. Zhongyu's soul power surged, controlling the flying blades that filled the sky, forming an all-around attack. Who? The black-robed youth, Wu Ying, shook his body and disappeared from where he stood. Ding, ding, ding. All the flying blades hit the ground, forming a string of sparks. Zhongyu's attack failed. He spread out his soul power and instantly sensed the black-robed youth's location. Behind me. He suddenly turned around, but what welcomed him was a black flash. Chi-chi! Pum! Like a black flash of lightning, it quickly hit the circular gear. A thumb-sized hole appeared. The black flash passed through the metal and heavily hit Zhongyu's body. His spiritual power armor was penetrated, and a bloody hole appeared on his body. Admit defeat! Zhongyu covered his wound and walked down the stage with a terrified expression. He had a feeling that if he did not admit defeat, he would very likely die on the stage. Chapter 230. Everyone was stunned. Even a second-grade inscription master like Zhong, you couldn't last more than 2 moves in the hands of the black-robed youth. If anyone else went up, they would be killed in seconds. Lin Xian looked at the black-robed youth with a dignified look in his eyes. Very strong. That was his feeling. Swish! The black-robed youth looked at Lin Xian. His gaze was like a pillar of fire, unbearable. Lin Xian's expression didn't change. The sword light in his eyes flashed as if a peerless sword had been unsheathed, incomparably sharp. Ding, ding, ding. Sparks appeared in the air, like metal intersecting, and a wave of energy quickly spread out. Hee hee, the black-robed youth sneered and quickly walked down the stage. Soon after, Lin Xian went up on stage again. Many people were shocked and looked at Lin Xian with a dignified look. Until now, no one would underestimate Lin Xian. However, when they saw Lin Xian's opponent, they all exclaimed, "Haha, that Lin kid is dead." Many disciples of the Inscription Palace sneered. The disciples of the state of Great Xia frowned and looked cautiously at the figure on the stage. She wore a purple short skirt that just reached her thighs. Her upper body was even more revealing, and most of her snow-white chest was exposed, making people want to vomit blood. With a delicate face and a devilish figure, she was simply a seductress. So beautiful. Tisk tsk, her thighs are so white. You want to die? Don't talk nonsense. She is the second disciple of the Purple Demon Palace. Someone warned. Purple Demon Palace. Suddenly, many martial artists' faces regained their clarity, and even their eyes were restrained. This Purple Demon Palace was not only a third-grade sect of the Shadow Country, but it was also powerful and cruel. Otherwise, it wouldn't be known as the Demon Palace. The disciples of the state of Great Xia looked dignified, and many people were worried about Lin Xian. The second disciple of the Purple Demon Palace, Hua Yan, was several times stronger than He Inkai. This time Lin Xian is dead. The disciples of the Shadow Country all sneered. Many of the martial artists in the other arenas also looked in this direction. Even the black-robed young man was staring at the arena. He, young man, why don't you surrender when you see me? Hua Yan's voice was extremely sweet. There was a hint of seduction in her voice, causing one's blood to surge. Immediately, some of the disciples who were closer to the arena turned red, as if their skin was about to bleed. As soon as Hua Yan's voice rang out, Lin Xian felt an invisible soul force interfering with his perception. At the same time, the aura in his body seemed to be boiling. Humph! With a cold snort, the great dragon sword within his body formed an invisible sword chi that cut through the void. Purple Extreme Devil Palace? The corners of Lin Xian's lips curled up slightly. That's useless against me. Lin Xian's gaze was sharp. Wherever it passed, it was as if a sword had swept past, turning everything into nothingness. Hua Yan was a little surprised when she saw that her charm illusion technique did not work. Hua Yan smiled faintly like a blooming lily. Her expression was extremely beautiful at this moment, and many people saw a strange scene. Since you want to play, I'll play with you. Lin Xian sneered. He had been studying the inscriptions that Lord Alcohol had given him over the past few days, and he had a new understanding of the use of souls. There seemed to be thousands of inscriptions rotating in his right eye, and a strange soul wave was transmitted. Trap! The surroundings changed drastically, and Hua Yan seemed to be in a dark cage. Clang! The sound of iron chains rang out, and she was quickly bound. Chi! Chi! The cold iron chains exerted some force, and her clothes were shredded into pieces. Her jade-like body was exposed to the air, followed by all kinds of torture. In the outside world, Hua Yan stood motionless. Suddenly she frowned. She bit the tip of her tongue lightly, and the purple light in her eyes intensified. In the spiritual space, her jade-like body suddenly changed and fell to the ground like petals. Where Lin Xian stood, countless tentacles grew out and wrapped around him. Hee, you're still far from being able to use techniques on me. Hua Yan smiled charmingly, and her eyes seemed to be dripping with tears. Release your most primitive desires. Pink gas gushed out from the tentacles and drilled into Lin Xian's body. Chi, the sword of soul slashed and destroyed everything. Is Rushue still alive? Lin Xian suddenly asked. What? How did you know? Hua Yan was stunned. Then she seemed to have thought of something, and her face changed drastically. Did you injure him? Impossible. Sword of soul. Lin Xian smirked, and a translucent sword chi suddenly pierced out, cutting off the tentacles around him. The sword chi surged and quickly slashed at Hua Yan. This is impossible. How did you know this move? Hua Yan's face finally changed. Her soul shook, and she wanted to escape from this space. However, the speed of the sword of soul was unimaginable, and it slashed Hua Yan's soul in an instant. In the outside world, Lin Xian and Hua Yan stood quietly without any movement. However, the surrounding disciples only knew that they must be engaged in a special soul battle. This kind of battle was the most dangerous, and the slightest mistake could cost one's life. Is this real? Is this Lin Xian so strong that he can compete with Hua Yan? Impossible. Hua Yan is the second disciple of the Purple Demon Palace. How can Lin Xian be her opponent? It's only been 5 breaths. Let's wait a little longer. These people were nervous and did not know what was going on. Suddenly, Hua Yan's body trembled and she regained her mobility. It's over. Everyone was excited. They knew that the soul battle was over. Puff! However, to their surprise, Hua Yan's face turned pale and she spat out a mouthful of blood. How is this possible? Hua Yan spat out blood. Did she lose? Everyone could not believe it and hurriedly looked at Lin Xian. They saw that Lin Xian had a smile on his face, and his expression was the same, without any discomfort. No, I must be under an illusion. Wake up! Yes, it must be Lin Xian's illusion. Many disciples of the Shadow Kingdom shouted, unwilling to believe this fact. The disciples of the Purple Demon Palace could not accept it. They would rather believe that they were under an illusion. Do you still want to continue? Lin Xian said lightly. Hua Yan covered her undulating chest, and there was a trace of struggle in her eyes. Thinking of his abnormal physical skills, Hua Yan finally sighed. Good brother, you won. What? Hua Yan actually admitted defeat. The group of people was stunned. Winner Lin Xian. The referee's voice echoed in the valley, shocking everyone. At this moment, almost everyone looked at Lin Xian. In the stands, the elders of the Purple Demon Palace frowned. Even Hua Yan lost. This kid seems to be not simple. I've never heard of him before. I don't know where this kid came from. Although Hua Yan lost, there's still Ziyi. As long as he's here, the first place will be ours. Several elders of the Purple Demon Palace whispered to each other. Near the second arena, the purple-haired Ziyi looked at Lin Xian with a cold expression. Hua Yan, don't worry, I'll avenge you. In the next round, Ziyi versus Li Guang. In the second arena, the purple-haired Ziyi walked up to the stage and faced his opponent. He only glanced at him. Ah! A miserable scream sounded in the second arena, making people's scalp tingle. Chapter 231. Ziyi only glanced at him, and his opponent screamed crazily, bleeding from all 7 orifices. This kind of method was simply unimaginable. After easily defeating his opponent, Ziyi turned his gaze to the first arena. A murderous intent soared to the sky, as if there was an invisible blade hanging over everyone's head. Lin Xian felt a sharp soul force piercing towards him, and that force was several times stronger than Hua Yan's. He focused and prepared to defend with all his strength. At this time, the soul force suddenly disappeared. I hope you can hold on a little longer. In the arena, I will kill you in one move. Ziyi's words echoed around. F***CK. Ziyi is angry. This guy is dead. No one has ever been able to resist Ziyi's gaze, even if that guy is strong. The disciples of Shadow Country were excited and couldn't wait to see Ziyi fight. Anytime, Lin Xian's face was calm as he slowly walked down the arena. Hua! The crowd around him separated, automatically making a path. Now only Ziyi, this kind of peerless genius, could contend with Lin Xian, and ordinary people couldn't stop him at all. At this moment, no matter what these people thought, their actions had already acknowledged Lin Xian's strength. The competition continued, and all kinds of genius powerhouses displayed their powerful combat power in front of everyone. In the first arena, other than Lin Xian, there was also a strange and unpredictable black-robed youth, Wu Ying. In the second arena, Ziyi defeated his opponent in one move, and no one could resist him. Other than him, there was also Ouyang Changming, a disciple of Xia Country's Ouyang family. He also displayed his powerful strength, defeating many second-grade inscriptionists. On the third arena, an ethereal young girl's movements were gentle like a celestial fairy. She was Rain Country's genius girl, Yu Fei. The strength displayed by this girl was not inferior to Ziyi, and many people were looking forward to the battle between the two. Other than that, there were also some outstanding geniuses. At this time, the second arena welcomed a battle. Ziyi versus Ouyang Changming. One was a recognized powerhouse, and the other was a rising star. The battle between the two attracted everyone's attention. Lin Xian's eyes flashed, and he was also carefully watching the battle. Judging from Ouyang Changming's performance, he was stronger than Hua Yan. But how would he compare to Ziyi? In the stands, the people from the Xia country looked nervous, especially Elder Ouyang. He clenched his fists secretly. Changming, don't force yourself. Elder Ouyang sighed in his heart. On the second arena, Ziyi was dressed in a long gown. His purple hair fluttered in the air, making him look incomparably demonic. A disciple of the great Xia country? I'll take some interest from you first. After saying this, his eyes emitted a demonic purple glow like two purple stars. An aura that made one's soul tremble suddenly appeared. An entire space fell into a state of oppression. Purple demon eyes. Purple light flashed, instantly enveloping Ouyang Changming. Wang! Ouyang Changming's body shook, and then he stood still. The nearby disciples looked nervous. Many of them had frightened looks on their faces. It's the purple demon eyes. This is the purple extreme devil palace's most powerful eye technique. That brat is done for. I heard that no one below the harmonious spirit realm can resist the purple demon eyes. Not only the young disciples, but even some of the elders were also looking at the arena with serious expressions. They were more familiar with this kind of eye technique. It was an extremely powerful eye technique that could suck a person's soul into a special spiritual space. Once they entered, they would be at the mercy of others. Changming, Elder Ouyang's face was filled with worry. Humph! The elder of the inscription palace sneered. They were eager to see something happen in the great Xia country. 1 breath, 2 breaths, after 10 breaths of time, Ouyang Changming still hadn't fallen. Although his face was pale and his body was drenched in sweat, he was still standing. He can actually last for 10 breaths of time. This kid is not simple. I'm afraid that even a second-grade inscriptionist at the peak might not be able to withstand it for 10 breaths. At the 11th breath, Ouyang Changming's body moved. Bang! He knelt on one knee, gasping for breath. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Drops of blood flowed down continuously, splashing into the air. To be able to last for 10 breaths of time, you should be proud. Zai's voice was cold, as if he was a high and mighty king. Ouyang Changming's body trembled, and a bitter smile appeared on his face. He was powerful and thought that he was the #1 person in the great Xia country, but he didn't expect to be defeated here. The gap was too big. In Zai's spiritual space, he didn't have the strength to fight back. He could only bitterly resist. I only used half of my strength, Zai said with an evil smile. What? Ouyang Changming's body trembled, and the people around him cried out in alarm. Half of his strength defeated Ouyang Changming? Just how powerful was Zi? This Ouyang Changming should be the #1 person in the great Xia country. It seems that the great Xia country has no hope this time. There were sighs and sneers nearby. 2 disciples of the Ouyang family went up to help Ouyang Changming off the stage. Their backs were filled with loneliness. The disciples of the great Xia country had a worried look. Were they going to be last again? You forgot one person. Huang Shanshan stood in the crowd and said in a low voice. The disciples of the great Xia country raised their heads with a puzzled expression on their faces. Lin Xian, we still have Lin Xian. He defeated Hua Yan. The eyes of the disciples of the great Xia country suddenly burst with light, as if they had caught the last life-saving straw. Yes, Lin Xian is also a second-grade inscription master. Maybe he can create a miracle. Humph! Although the one surnamed Lin is strong, he is almost on par with Ouyang Changming. Compared to Zai, he is too weak. Your great Xia country actually put your hopes on a little brat. How sad! The disciples of the Shadow Country said ruthlessly. At this time Zai laughed and said, Within 10 breaths I can get rid of Lin Xian. His voice was unusually cold, as if the space was frozen. Senior brother Zai is mighty. The Purple Extreme Demon Palace will win. For a time there was a burst of cheers in the valley. In the stands, the elders of the Purple Extreme Demon Palace had a calm smile on their faces. Zai's Purple Extreme Demon Eyes has been cultivated to the 3rd level. I'm afraid that none of the young disciples in the entire valley is his opponent. The inscription tower is nothing. When the time comes, the entire Shadow Country will be ours. The people of the Nether Hall have already moved out. Our Purple Extreme Hall can't fall behind. Several elders of the Purple Extreme Demon Palace communicated with each other, their expressions full of pride. On the side of the Great Xia Country, there were sighs. Elder Ouyang had already gone to treat Ouyang Changming. Elder Song and Elder Gu looked at each other and shook their heads. Can Lin Xian contend with Zai? Elder Song's voice had a hint of disappointment. It will be difficult, Elder Gu said in a low voice, but I have confidence in him. Oh, Elder Song looked at him in surprise. When I first met Lin Xian, he was only a martial artist at the 2nd level of the spiritual sea realm. But at that time, he could continuously create miracles, challenging geniuses above his level, killing the older generation of martial artists, and even challenging the harmonious spirit realm. And in a short 3 months, his cultivation actually reached the 6th level of the spiritual sea realm. I have never seen this kind of speed. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.